Lower open coming up this morning after what we saw on Friday. Nicely strong into the close for all U.S. equities on Friday. A bit of a reversal here. Overall, we're on track for the S&P to have possibly the worst month since March of 2020 when the pandemic began. So one more trading session to go here, and then we'll get into a brand new month, which will hopefully bring more opportunities. We'll get non-farm payrolls at the end of this week. Remember, the Fed, the other key number that the Fed continues to monitor along with inflation is jobs. So going to be a big one coming up on Friday. Economists looking for creation of 178,000 jobs and the unemployment rate to stay unchanged at 3.9%. Overall, the S&P down more than 8%. From its all-time high. It's down 7% in January alone. The Dow about the same right now, on track for its worst month since March of 2020, 4.4% this month alone. The NASDAQ leading the way, 15% off its November record high, headed for the worst month since October of 2008. For the NASDAQ. Individually this morning, Robinhood shares back on watch. Cathie Wood did step in a big way on Friday and bought the dip on Hood. We'll talk about that. Netflix continues to show some strength here in the pre-market as well. A couple new upgrades for Netflix, and EV stocks holding up pretty well here as well as we head into a brand new week. It's Monday, January 31st, 2022. TraderTv.live starts now. Yeah, there we go. Some red numbers to kick things off. As I said, 0.4 for the S&P, the Dow about 0.5%. Back to the downside. Good to see the NASDAQ kind of holding on to break even, at least at this point. Otherwise, though, pretty red right across the board. Bitcoin, again, back to the downside ever so slightly. Good to see Ethereum there slightly higher. To start things off, we'll pick and choose our spots here this morning as far as strength is concerned. But as we said, on track, all three U.S. equity markets on track for their worst months, we'll say, since the pandemic began, guys. It is Monday. It's the final day of January. I think a lot of traders are going to be excited to put this month behind us, and hopefully February will bring more opportunities.
Well, we'll definitely see, because we got good welcome, everybody. We got some big earnings coming this week, obviously, with, as mentioned, Alphabet going to be coming through. It should be pretty spicy. We get day two, seeing after Robinhood reported last week. A lot of serious double bottoms got made from those Monday lows, and I think we're going to be digging into some of those opportunities off those key price areas. So a lot of strength we did see, at least making off of those double bottoms, but overall, we're still in this little bit of a lull. Apple came in Friday and somewhat managed to save the situation a little bit, and there was a surprise to see how strong Robinhood was. And it was also a pretty entertaining weekend of games there, Sean. So I'm pretty excited for the Super Bowl. If you can't tell who I think is going to win.
Definitely don't want the Rams.
Denver, to win. I don't want the Rams to win.
Stafford throws that pick, and
who they can beat them Bengals, right?
And I don't know who's going to beat them, but I don't think it'll be the Rams. I think the Bengals will win that one. I actually didn't even look. I had a perfect weekend gambling this weekend. It was unbelievable. Like, it's not even that hard to take the any touchdown prop. Like, give me a break. Kelsey, Cooper Kupp, and Debo, like, they all touchdown.
Cooper Kupp's the easy one.
About as easy as it can be there. Well, Kelsey's easy too. I mean, unfortunately, against the Bills, I hit it in the last second. We don't have to talk about that again. Yeah. But no, I wasn't too happy with. I thought San Fran should have won that. We had that parlay against both underdogs, so that was a good one. Both those teams covered easily, of course, with Bengals winning. You want to talk about saving the day? I believe it's on the sticky note today, as well as on our watch list. But watch out for Robinhood today. Get saved, and we talked about that with Aunt Kathy coming in ARK, buying up everything she could on Robinhood. I guess 2.4 million shares. I actually called this one being her exact buy, which I think was all her right here. 1.3 million happened around 10 o'clock. So I believe there could be some saviors coming in again today around 10 o'clock for Robinhood. But until then, let's just do what we did on Friday, and that is sell it early and then take profit and then if it continues to pop up, then we'll know she's around, and we'll get out around 13. So I do like Robinhood here at 13 bucks. It should be another great day trading. Brendan said we started off pretty red here, but the market's now rallying pretty good. NASDAQ now up 0.2 and starting to go. So yeah, hopefully Apple came. Is Apple still 170? Yeah, so above 170 right now. So Apple is a fantastic report. We have Google coming this week as well that I'm most excited about. Not super excited about Amazon, but really happy with Apple heading back to all-time highs above 180. Can't be much better than that. And a bunch of names at key levels. It's on the sticky note as well.
Yeah, hopefully we'll put in a bit of a bottom here and save the month on the last day of the month here. Anyone noticing this new, which is this Puxin Limited? This is an ADS that split, so it's not up 723%. Obviously a split. This thing was 20 cents back on Friday. So yeah, that new, if you notice, not up a whopping 723% this morning after that split. Miss V, as we said on Friday, off for a couple of weeks for much deserved vacation. We wish her well and safe travels to Miss V. We'll see her again in a couple of weeks. Let's get into a few things we need to discuss here this morning as we head towards a brand new week, guys. So it's going to be important, as we said, for earnings. We have chips coming up this week. Chip makers, I should say, AMD tomorrow, a few others later in the week. So another big week of earnings right across the board.
Yeah, and specifically, well, AMD specifically, because of last week, you know, we're going to be talking about that 100, or well, there was a few names at 100 because I know Score was actually also at $100. But it was a pretty strong end to the week for AMD, and you look at that 100 level, double bottoms again across the board. But a double bottom on this one on Friday specifically. You know, it's crazy to think that we've come this far, but you know, AMD is off over 60% from its highs. Valuation, I guess, has been the flavor here, but you look along the line, and you know, it was a lot of disappointment to start with the chip makers for earnings. I'm looking at you, Lam, looking at you, Intel, and you know, across the board, it wasn't looking that great. And you know, we get these bounces here, and AMD certainly could lift the spirits a little bit. I feel like, you know, late last year it was Nvidia that was a momentum stock and maybe a little bit better for the trading, but AMD off that 100 level, you know, poised for a bit of a run. But like I've sort of said, you have to wait out for some of the earnings. We've got a lot from the chip sector already, and this could be like them having a strong quarter. Again, when you're a growth stock, you cannot miss a beat. If they can have the strong quarter they need to, that could get that temp bottom definitely set in. But until then, 100 is clearly a pretty sweet support level for AMD.
Yeah, AMD is written down here on the sticky note today for that 100 level. I don't even know where my sticky note is. But what about Intel? I didn't even realize Intel touched down to 46 bucks. Like this stock has been, you know, in the penalty box for a very, very long time, and I thought it was about to break out, but it was breaking out at the wrong time because it broke out when the market started to absolutely tank. So it was right in here. I thought Intel got a chance to go through 55 bucks here, and then you look and you're down 20% from that right now. So I mean, this name has been, I mean, they've all been beat down in the chips, but especially Intel. Like Intel was $57 January 10th. You're now down to $47. So I think maybe they're flowing with a lot of these names, but Intel for me has already broke the bottom. But hey, like this should be, I mean, you're at key levels here, man. Like 47, 48 bucks. Didn't even realize how low we were here for Intel. So this might be one that you might want to just pick up and hold for a couple days, swinging a little bit north side. Hopefully, they're not going to save themselves, but hopefully AMD, like we just mentioned there, hopefully AMD will come out and save the chip sector. And then if they do, then you're going to get a nice little bump up here for Intel. So I think that this could be a nice little buy here at 48 bucks. Where we are on Intel right now. So it's not on my sticky note. It didn't make it today. Here's what did. If you're looking, it's NEO. We'll talk about that soon. Robinhood, Beyond Meat actually on here. AMD, Microsoft at key levels, and then Ford as well. So if you want to check out the sticky note, we're all over it as well today. So have a look there. But yeah, I'm excited for a lot of these names today. Intel's not necessarily one of them. AMD down here though at that 100 is something. But again, the NASDAQ's up 0.23 right now. So I don't figure we even get a test down anywhere near where we're too interested in AMD. But we'll watch the futures flow out here. I really like Beyond Meat though today.
All right, let's a little bit of deal making, guys. Citrix Systems, a few people talking about this. Neil, maybe take a second here just to walk us through what this means exactly. So Citrix getting taken out here for 104 per share in cash. It's actually trading, a decent amount below that right now, 101.50, 104 up here, but I mean below even where we were on Friday.
So I think this has a lot to do with what's been going on, and sorry, sort of still on AMD there. What's been going on with a lot of these deals recently, and it's not. I guess this is somewhat of the new normal. You're going to have larger spreads because antitrust concerns. And this is going to be for the bigger deals, I suppose. This is antitrust concerns causing stocks to trade a heck of a lot lower. Maybe they take longer to close, so the time value of money becomes a bit of an issue. The only thing here, though, and just sort of flipping over and looking at the volume, there's not a heck of a lot of volume, so it hasn't really traded a lot yet. So it's probably worth a fade off that deal price, just because that's been a very successful trade if you've been able to get shorts in front of it. I just don't anticipate a lot of movement. I would have thought there'd be a little bit more pre-market volume here to be able to dig into, and I wouldn't, without volume, you shouldn't even be touching it. This isn't like ATVI, where it was at this point in the session like churning through volume, and yet it's some indication that it was going to turn to the downside just based on the sell volume going in the morning. But there just hasn't been a heck of a lot here, so it's probably a stay away from me. I usually like shorting in front of the deal price if you can get it, but less than 500,000 shares is a bit disappointing because it's not a small deal at all. I mean, overall, you're talking about a $13 billion company, so you would think that this would have a little bit more juice to it, but I'm not sure it's going to be that great for day traders.
I haven't even looked at that yet, so no comment for me on whatever they were just talking about.
Let's go to BlackBerry, guys, more for sentimental sake, because they made it official today. Selling all of their legacy patents related to wireless devices and mobile devices, messaging and networking when it comes to that side of the technology here. $450 million in cash. BlackBerry officially, it would appear, no longer a wireless company.
There's two. Well, you can kill two birds with one stone here, because Dakota Wade just asked a good question. Why is Robinhood SSR? It's not where a stock closes for short sell restriction. As long as it hits down 10% at any point during the day, it goes into short sell restriction, and then it's that, and then the following day. So Robinhood is short sell restricted, and I'm saying that because maybe BlackBerry gets it. Well, it's not there right now, but maybe BlackBerry gets there today. It's down about 5.5%, but of course, it hits 10% at any point, and it's going to go SSR. I'm already on the offer of this thing in front of. We'll go to the 15-minute chart maybe so we can get a quick look. Anything that if something breached the Monday lows, right? So you had a lot of stocks making double bottoms. The S&P made a double bottom off of its Monday lows. This broke it on Thursday. It then broke and tried to recover above on Friday. You can kind of see this projection here, double top at 790. And then it's broken that low this pre-market, and we're sitting below those Monday lows. So I'm looking for an attempt for it to break back out of those lows, get to like 760 or so, get into the top end of the range, fade it if I can. I think it's going to be a sell. Certainly if it cannot even get past the Monday low at 750 to 760 or so, then I might try shorting at that point at the open at 930. But until then, I want that price closer to 8 o'clock if I can get it. I didn't see too many names that had that exact pattern where they actually absolutely breached those bottoms from Monday. But you get that in a name with a daily chart like this, and I'm going to be shorting BlackBerry if it gives me the chance. Not a ton of volume here today, but I don't think that should make me stray away from this one. Market looking to bounce back. You sort of keep it to the weak names if you want to be short.
All I ever heard about BlackBerry was the only reason I ever owned this thing was because of these amazing patents that they own. And then today you come in and they finally sell them and the stock goes down. So I guess maybe they were worth either obviously less than they thought because they sold them. So that should have been a good sign, but obviously down 6% today. Make sure that your broker is able to get you shortable shares before you go ahead and try to short this thing. I haven't really looked at it. I just think there's way bigger fish to fry today. But BlackBerry is just, if you're a holder of the stock, you're only holding it for one reason, and that is that you somehow think that there's going to be another squeeze on this thing. And ultimately, we keep saying that Wall Street always wins on this, and they do, right? People buy this because they expect it to squeeze, and if you don't get out at the top, I mean, it's just forever dead BlackBerry. I mean, this is just it's just grinding its way to zero. We were already at $4, not even that long ago, and I think we just replaced 4 with 0 at some point. They could eventually get bought out. I wouldn't know why anyone would buy them, but BlackBerry just continues, honestly, guys. Like, I mean, maybe if we break back down like 650 maybe for a break on the downside here, but I think we settle somewhere between 3 and 4 and then just trade around there. And it just joins, the pile of other stocks that were once, darlings and now are not. So BlackBerry right now down to 750. I don't know. I've really never owned the stock. I did own it during some of the meme stuff of last year, but got out of that. I don't even think I made money on this stock. I'm not a big fan of this. They finally sell patents, and they're down 6%. I think we're right looking only short here.
Let's take a second here, guys, and talk about some big tech names. We had big earnings last week with Apple, with Microsoft, to name a few. More to come this week. Obviously, you mentioned AMD to start things off tomorrow after the close. Apple holding up here. I mean, we see the NASDAQ positive, as you were saying, Sean, but going to be another important week. I mean, this was pretty impressive on Friday, closing at the highs, essentially, along with the overall market. But positive here for Apple. Microsoft looking very similar. Another important week for these ones.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you said already I guess we've all said with Google coming. Apple's done its work, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they've already had an absolute blowout. You can't ask for anything more out of Apple. I guess you can't really ask for any more out of the quarter for Microsoft as well. But the truth of the matter is, even from a support level and just looking from like that technical previous, these wicks are pretty ugly on the chart, but that previous support at 158, that being where this holds up, you've now gotten right back to, and you're sitting on, I don't want to jinx anything, you're sitting on the 50 period here for Apple. And for us to be sitting here with a chance to hold that, if we get a positive day out of today, we were able to close pretty much on the 50 period on Friday, and then a chance to break away from that. That's the kind of thing that gets you into one of those like temporary bottoms and gives the markets, some comfort, right? But obviously we have to wait for the larger reports to come in. You're not out of the water yet. You're essentially right at that level. I wouldn't necessarily trade off of it because you've been back and forth pretty much already this morning. Let it open up and then see if we can use that as support. It could turn into resistance if we were to flush for some reason. But that 170, that 50 period on Apple looks pretty good. Your lower level support has probably moved. When I was looking back this morning, I was kind of telling myself, okay, somewhere in this 164 range. But I think that needs to be established because you got the 50 period. You have no real established level in between. And then you've got that 158 bottom that we know has been really, really good, a really, really good level. But we're not seeing that anytime soon.
Yeah, no, Apple came. I mean, it's already a fantastic stock. We know that. I mean, if you own Apple, then you know how good this stock has been over the years. It's not going to be the biggest winner coming out of this bottom, of course, which is why we did sell some on Friday, on Thursday, ahead of the number. But it was a fantastic number, and as a shareholder, I mean, I'm super pleased with how it's going. And now, hopefully, they've lifted the stock up. I still think we retest a lot of these bottoms here. Like, I still think we retest this 157, 158. Like I said, we got it, I think, 159.50 or something, whatever that was there, basically Friday after or Thursday after market. But there it is right there, a nice little bump up to that 50 period. It's one of the only major cap tech stocks that are near this number. I like it for the long run, for sure. I just, I don't know if the market swoon here is over with. Like, I just kind of wonder, after earnings, what happens to Apple? Do we bounce off here and then retest back into this area? And I don't know. It's just, we'll see what happens with them. If the market continues to go, their numbers are already out. We already know what Apple's all about. It's a 0.5% dividend per year, so you do have something there. We just got into NEO right now, so we'll go a little early. We haven't talked about the EV space yet, but we are into NEO long off that 2150 break. This is on the sticky note. I like what NEO is doing here, and again, off some key levels. So, like I said, I think your money probably, if the market bounces from here, you'll make more money. This is just because I'm in NEO now as an example. You'll make more money going long NEO than you will in Apple over the next month if the market rallies. So that's where I think that there is a little bit of kind of like hold, don't trade Apple, and look at other names that'll give you bigger returns, right? Like, the market goes up 10% in the month. You want to hold Apple or do you want to hold AMD? Or do you want to hold Nvidia? Or do you want to hold something like that, right? Apple sure will go, for sure. But Facebook's been beat down. There's been a few other names, and we'll wait for Facebook, Meta to come out as well. They're down to $300. Even Microsoft at $307, I like better than where Apple is right now. I mean, Microsoft is like a little mini, Berkshire of tech, man. Like, they're buying everything. They own, GitHub there. They just took down Activision, Minecraft. They're in everything. So I really like what Microsoft is doing a little bit more than what Apple's doing, because Apple's kind of just staying the same and not disposing of their cash right now. So let's wait to see cash is an asset in this environment. So there's two ways of looking at it. But I like Microsoft a little bit better than Apple here. And I just think that there's a little bit better spots to get your money in. Like I said, Apple right now at the 50 period, Microsoft still has $20 to go to get to that. So I just think that the pickup in some of these other names, your capital may be a little bit better in some of the other tech names, but Microsoft and Apple are just such huge companies that, the market's really going to have to crash to do poorly on these stocks.
Yeah, what an opportunity on that daily chart at the bottom there on MSFT. You mentioned NIO there. It's worth noting, guys, some of the other Chinese stocks specifically, very strong today. Look at JD here, 3.3%, testing pre-market highs. We can flip over and show you BABA as well, same story, 1.7 here, testing pre-market highs. So a lot of the bigger, anyways, Chinese names showing some strength pre-market.
Yeah, I think the EVs tend to be a little bit different here, but there's actually some concern out of China in terms of how aggressive they're being with their response to COVID. Like, some of the stuff you hear is pretty intense. Like, if you buy like cold medication, then you have to you get put on like a list, and then you got to go stand in line to go get a test, and like their COVID zero policy is intense, to be sure, and that could pose some problems for growth in the economy. But overall, I think a lot of times, like when we look at these relief rallies, at least recently in Alibaba and JD and the like, it has more to do with like the risk on type of atmosphere, because all you're doing is you're bouncing off of the same bottoms made last week in other names and trying to break back out. Now, BABA did break its Monday low and turned it into resistance. It's back above that price. So you might have this like 115, which was the Monday low, as like a first support level. If it breaches that, I think you're headed back down to that 110. Those are the only two levels I'd be looking at for Alibaba. Putting some stock into those Monday lows is significant almost across the board, because they ended up holding up, like either as support or when they broke, they turned into resistance for a lot of these names.
Yeah, NIO has a little bit of news on them there with some convertible offerings done on Friday. But I just think that this $20 level is just too key to ignore. And that's basically where we are on that. it's dumped down a lot. If the EV space is going to have some reprieve, we saw Rivian stopped at $50 on Friday and now up to 57. That's 14%, off of one day. So like if you bought at 50 and you're looking to open up your account today, that's $7 on $50. So, you would have not got 50. Let's say you got 52. You're still in the money now, 13, 14, 15%, just in one day on some of these names. So that's what I'm talking about. Why? And look, that's why I was talking about Apple. I love Apple, right? But to put your money to work somewhere else right now, if you have a little bit of cash to play around with, there are big moves coming in a lot of these names. Shout out to Ronnie. What's up, Ronnie? They're on the chat as well. But I just think NIO here gets defended up to 2150. That's where we're long. We have some areas back in here. I'm going to hold this one until we dance with $20. So this is not a heavy position right now. If we can get it out of the 70s, we'll do that. But we do want to average in back down to 21 quickly before we go over to the big board. Oh my God, it's still 8:53. I thought it was a little later than that. Let's just quickly look here. Ford. Oh, there's NIO. So we haven't really looked at the imbalance locator today, other than when I first came in and there was nothing. But NIO right now on a buy. So two of the car companies that we've been discussing here and will continue to as well. Palantir there. Other than that, there's QuantumScape as well down there. So there's a few different names that are buy. There's Alibaba we just talked about as some buys. So there's a few buys. But again, whenever we're kind of I would say like sub 7, 8, 900,000 shares is not really that big of a deal. NIO's already done close to 1 million. We're rocking and rolling. We're long NIO right now at 21.15. Check it out on the sticky note.
All right, let's get a quick look, guys, at a few analyst moves this morning. It's worth noting on Beyond Meat, Netflix, and Tesla, there was multiple. There was actually a couple of price target cuts as well for Netflix, I saw, but mostly positive here. Citigroup, 450 on Netflix there. We'll talk about that. Beyond Meat, charge point as well. Nothing huge on this side. Worth noting, though, another Cathie Wood name at the bottom there, guys. Stone Co.
Yeah, Stone Cold. But well, the interesting thing is it's heavier on the upgrades this morning, and certainly you're going to get a little bit of that when you get some, I guess, adjustment in valuations. Tesla, in particular, got beat up after those earnings. It's managed to look in that bottom that got made on Friday. I mean, it was pretty spectacular, getting down to that 800 and then reversing, and it's right at pretty much the Monday low. The Monday low was at 850 on Tesla. We're pretty much right there and bouncing back and forth off of this. So Tesla is one of those, bellwether stocks right off the open here. If it can hold last week Monday's lows, and 850 is pretty much the only level that's going to matter. Well, early on, I think, and then if you go right back up towards that 880 to 885 to the upside, like that's been a pretty decent area for some consolidation. So that's what it's probably going to be trying to get through on the upside here today. On a Tesla, the upgrade's certainly great to be had, but this is more, it's more about the valuation. It's more about the market sentiment here. Are we done in the short term selling off the high valuation stocks? I think if that's the case, I want to see 850 hold on Tesla, and then you probably have about 20 to 30 bucks into that 880 to 85 area to the top side.
Yeah, Tesla's been pretty good. I just want to look, some people asking about Palantir. We can look at that quickly here. You want to talk about high valuation stocks. Again, another stock looking to find its way here and trying to develop a bottom. 12 bucks is about as good of a bottom, I think, as you're going to get on this stock right here. We've already ripped off of that on Friday a little bit. Our actual bottom was 11.75, and then I have to zoom in a little bit closer here to see. It's been obviously a disaster. I mean, this looks like just as much of a cliff as a lot of these other names. But a bottom there at 11.90, and we just ripped up to 13. So that, there could be some bottoms there. And this is not the most attractive looking stock right now. Obviously, Palantir only up that 1%. But you do have some of these bottoms looking at 12.50. This is 12.25 where we bounced off of before Friday before ripping into the close. So yeah, looking at Palantir, there are some levels. It's not on the sticky note. It's on the imbalance locator. So if you were interested in Palantir, which I am always, I think we can look at this bottom to see if we can hold at 11.90 or so, the bottom from Friday when we just tanked early and then took it off. And this is that rip that we're talking about. So let's see if we can't catch a little bit of a falling knife here. If the futures do come down, let's start to build up a position around here, 12.30, 12.40 for Palantir. So that's where I'm currently bidding, Brendan.
Worth noting here, guys, some of the banks I noticed were in negative territory, including JP Morgan. Nothing significant to mention when it comes to some of these this morning. But as we get closer and closer to March and the interest rate hike that is to come in March, I mean, some of these forming a decent base down here as far as looking, back to the upside. We had a decent run on Friday for both JP Morgan, Goldman as well look like that also, but pretty quiet here for financial stocks so far in the pre-market.
Yeah, I kind of would hope that they'd be at least a little bit quiet, and not, I don't say hope, I would just sort of feel like if we talk about it being like a risk-on type of a thing, and we're going to get back to a temp bottom, I want to say, for some of these growth type names, then I'd like to see you go back to going sideways on the banks. It doesn't mean they have to come back in, but essentially like Morgan, and we talked about this when they reported, it's just right back into the same channel that it was before. It's basically like nothing has happened on these names. So I'd like to see a little bit of that. Hold on to this sideways. I think that's going to portend pretty well for some of the growth names. We've sort of seen that rotation be talked about like over and over and over again, and I kind of feel like a lot of that reaction has been sort of not baked in, but has already happened. Whether it's with buying the banks, buying cyclicals, whatnot, and getting out of some of your riskier assets, and it's certainly true. You look at the capitulation that's had on a lot of those growth names, and to me that means the banks might go a little sideways for at least the short term here, while we hopefully get a temp bottom. That's remains to be seen, because like I said, we have a bunch of earnings this week that can certainly turn the page on us.
Yeah, I am very, very underweighted in banks. Like, I'm so ridiculously underweighted in banks. It's crazy that maybe we will pick some up if they do go to the downside. You can look at a sort of a not a secondary bank, but like a non-traditional, if you do think that some of these stocks are starting to fly upside. Like I wouldn't invest in a bank because, like a Goldman or Morgan or a JPM or anything like that. I wouldn't invest in those right now if you're like looking to get some kind of return. I'd rather sit honestly in cash. So I'm going to wait on those. Like I said, if there is something here in any of these names, I don't mind a SoFi that's just been getting absolutely killed here. And I'm just talking about day trading. I'm not talking about investing here. Just looking at some of these names, SoFi could pick something up. And again, these bottoms of 1050 is just crazy where we were on SoFi and where we are now. So I don't know. This is another name that near that $10 mark. It's hard to not look at this, but again, it's all the way down to 11, and our bottom there is 1050. So if the market did crack down here, then yeah, I am thinking 1050 or so could come into play. So we'll cue the gun show comments in a couple of seconds because I'm interested to see what happens here with the futures as the NASDAQ is now well above that 14,000, and that's obviously a key level here, Brandon.
As mentioned, Miss V off for a much-needed vacation for a couple of weeks. Make sure you are here at 11 a.m. because Arun is not only here now in the building, but will be on the Market Movers show at 11 a.m. with Trader Prad. So let's get a look, Arun, at what is going on with the futures today.
All right, well, it's been an interesting day, especially since Friday we had that huge rally. It was 100 points or something right at the end there in the final 2 hours. And here we are up at the top end of the range. And I think what you have to consider is given what you're getting for the last 4 or 5 days, when you hit the top end of the range, you're getting some selling, right? I think that's what you have to be aware of. Is it ready yet? I'm not sure. I don't have anything prepared just now or right away, but I do want to see how much more trading we get done near the top end of the range. If we get some selling coming in, I think shorts are on the table here. And obviously, if you take the short, you're looking for the bottom end of the range, right? The bottom end of the range, what I've got marked off is 42.50 is the bottom I've got off. That I got marked off, and 44.60 is the top end. So if we break 44.60, shorts are out of the way. If we break 42.50, longs are out of the way. So you just got to, at this point, you're going to box this thing in, you're going to trade the top, you're going to trade the bottom, and anything in between, that's a tough trade. So what I'm looking for is shorts up here. If we take the 60s, then I think potential longs are on the table. But for now, though, I'm just looking for some shorts. Be aware, it's the last day of the month. It's been a volatile month, and we're at the top end of the range. This could get spicy depending on how this day goes out, because if we go, let's just say we go towards the bottom and we're nearing the bottom as we go into the end of the day, we could just rip right through the bottom, right? And the reverse can be said as well. If we just kind of drift up through the top and we're nearing the end of the day, it's easy to take off the top right at the end of the day with a ton of volume. So just be aware of the edges, trade within the edges. Everything in the middle, I think you got to be aware. It's going to be tricky to trade, but the problem is it's a 200-point range. So it's a wide range with a lot of volatility, and we've seen what the market can do in not even 2 hours on Friday. So just be prepared for some action. It is the end of the month, so that should bring something that should be exciting.
Yeah, going to be worth a watch to see which direction they pick for the end of the month as we head towards February and a brand new month that'll hopefully, as I said, bring a little bit more positive movement to the overall market. Let's get into what else is moving around this morning, guys. If you're interested in the watch list, that is the link. We'll have it in the chat for you. We send it out every single morning, as we said, at 8:30 or just before 8:30 before we come on for absolutely free. All you need is an email address. Let's go to Netflix here because we had saw it on the board there, the upgrades and downgrades board. Couple of upgrades, couple of price target increases for Netflix. Citigroup, the notable one, going to buy from neutral, 450 to the downside on the price target from 595. I mean, this is all Bill Ackman's news last week, bought a whole bunch on the dip there. Up again this morning, guys, for Netflix.
Yeah, it's like Netflix has rounded things off here at the bottom post earnings, and you can, I guess, because it was right when the Ackman buy happened that you made that low. I guess we'll call it the Ackman bottom or whatever. Or keep sort of referring to it, but you did get into that support. Obviously, it was disappointment on subs, but we're not quite breaking out of since those earnings because if you remember 414. That was that bottom on Friday, not last Friday, but 2 Fridays ago. Sorry, that was that top that it couldn't get through. Monday's bottom, like we said, a lot of stocks held that 350 on Netflix. That's great. I think that's come and gone. But 414 is your upper bound. I think it gets through there. And there's a huge gap to be filled. So if you're looking for the rest of the FANG or former FANG names to sort of bolster us this week, Netflix through 414 is going to be a key level. If it tries to peel back in, I'm looking 388. That's just Friday's high for a bit of a dip. I want to be bullish as long as he made those double bottoms and holding those those last week Monday lows in the S&P. Like, I want to believe that we can go higher here. I want to buy in front of 388 on Netflix. I think, selling in front of 414 would make some sense. It's still got to break that level to try to fill in the gap. And, the longer it can maybe consolidate close to that level, maybe makes the breakout just a little bit spicier because it's inching towards that level. Like, we haven't had that one outside of the Monday V-shaped bottom. You haven't really had that one screaming day on Netflix yet.
I mean, at least we know that Bill Ackman's watching Trader TV Live. I mean, at least we know that, because when Netflix was all the way down here, I was saying that this is a bio candidate and that they were way too low. Their valuation was way too low. So, hey, whether or not you like Bill Ackman or not, I'm glad that I'm thinking like him. I just wish I had the bankroll like Bill Ackman. And he just pushing the stock up, man. And the same thing, we were talking all about this name. It did make a bottom of 350, absolutely fantastic. And yeah, it's nice to have Bill on board. I love Netflix at these levels. You're down to 27. I don't think anybody cancels their Netflix 27 PE. I don't think anybody cancels their Netflix memberships. I think their content gets stronger every year. Amazon continues to have really no presence in the Prime Video space there, with very limited shows going through for Amazon. And then Disney has really, I think, besides Encanto, and we'll talk, we talk about that, but not about Bruno, that Disney's really missed a lot on their content as well. So I just think Netflix continues to fly, man. Bill Ackman, I think what he's going to want to try to push is a free version for Netflix, ad-supported. Obviously, I think that's something that they could get through. It's working with Peacock. You guys know that right now. And I think it's just a way to bolster some of the memberships and things like that and subscriptions. So we'll wait to see if that exactly comes through, but 400 is great. And I'm glad, at least for now, me and Bill are on the same page with that one. Look at NEO going to the upside right now. So another one here. Maybe I can just convince Bill Ackman to trade some NEO here as well. We're already long on this one. We'll get out if it comes up to 70 and then hold the rest for a little bit of a swoon here in the market open if it comes back down here. So we'll get out of 2/3 of this for 20 cents, which is fine. That's our 1% on 20 bucks. We'll see if it goes back up to the upside there and goes. But hey, I like Netflix, and I think buy the dips. We'll look at it again today. I don't think it's a great day trading name, but it can be, especially if it gets to key levels like that 400.
Coinbase, guys, just popping up ever so slightly on a volume scanner there, but kind of holding 178 right now. Positive in the pre-market here. They just announced looks like an executive from Shopify's board of directors going over to join Coinbase's board of directors. So noteworthy anyways for Coin, as I mentioned, though not very active. Let's talk about some of these EV names, because it was Tesla last week with earnings that were amazing, but got sold pretty heavily. A number of analyst moves on the entire space so far today. I was just looking at Fisker. We looked at Fisker a lot, it seems, going back a month or two ago. Really not doing much this morning, and a little bit of a laggard here, it's worth noting.
Yeah, so we're going to get to that in a quick second, but I just want to quickly go to this KSCP. This was a low floater from last week. Quick double top, Friday highs, aftermarket. It just made that same top here, pull back. You had consolidation in the aftermarket around 1980 or so, and then you had this top in front of 20 even. It then had a consolidation break to the high at the same price. So I'm going long in front of it on this dip. It is real expensive for locates on this stock. It's about, I think it's like 90 cents, 97 or 98 cents for us. I haven't decided to buy them yet. I think it would have to break the high of the day to make sure it's worth it there. But I am just getting long in front of that 1950 support, so risking about $1, depending on slippage off of these levels on KCP. I would short it. It's just it would have to break the highs or going into a halt to be worthwhile for that. But I just want to get over to KSCP pretty quickly. I like Lucid to trade today, but I kind of like Lucid every single day. And they had a race. It was the Lucid and Tesla race, although Tesla won 3 out of 4.
Okay, yeah. So as far as Fisker, so you're already seeing me already in. We'll hit a slap shot here for NIO. We're already in that one, and we'll see if it goes up or not. But that's the one we've already talked about. I'll look at Fisker because you mentioned it here, Brendan, up 1%. I mean, still down to 1050. Like, it doesn't get any worse for a lot of these EV names that just continue to make new bottoms almost every single day. And I like Fisker. I mean, again, they've talked about having production ramped up here and should be able to get going. They have that Pope Mobile that I think is first or second quarter this year. I thought he was supposed to be rolling around in that in third quarter. So we'll see about that with Fisker. But again, nice little bottoms here around $10. I'm long Fisker already, and I'm actually debating picking some more up right now. But I've sort of told myself that I don't want to be in any companies that don't make any money and that just aren't really producing anything. I think you are better off in car companies that are actually rolling cars out. I think this is going to be the year for Ford and for GM, more specifically for Ford. So that's where I look right now. I don't actually have bids on here, but Ford is on the sticky note right here today. Back to $19 is what we like on the sticky note there. So find me at Trader TV, Sean. You'll be able to see that. Look at these levels here. Like, you want to talk about a stock that I've probably made. It's probably, I don't know, might be the number one stock on the show for the last little while. Ford's been great, man. Just buying some of these levels. And why? Because they keep holding. And it's just like, this is going to hold 19 again probably here. So into this area, I think it's a no-brainer. I think we at least get back to this 50 period, which is $21. NXPI reports tonight, and they're in a lot of the automotive chips. So just if they come out and say, you know, they're starting to get right back on track with meeting some of the demand that a company like Ford has, we're talking about NXPI today. If they come out after market and have a big quarter, you're going to thank me for buying Ford right now. So I think you could get Ford at these levels. I think it's worth dipping some more into. And this is what I mean. If the market's going to rally, I'd rather be in Ford than some of these other names, even like in Apple. I think Ford can go back up to its all-time highs, not all-time highs, but 25-year highs of $25. I like Ford here, and I think it works in this environment, and I'm a buyer all the way down, man. $19, like, give me a break. If we break below it, we have that bottom wick that was made of $18.94. That's like 70 cents away from here. So, I mean, I'm willing to hold this that long. I could even go long now all the way back in, but I feel like the futures, maybe, you know, the market maybe dips down here a little bit. You can see what Ford did. I mean, we waited, you know, very, very patiently. We got out there because we weren't sure what was happening. And then we waited, got back in. So like in there and out for a loser, then back out again for like flat. So this is kind of the roller coaster that happened on Friday. And then it dips back into support that we don't mind at 19. We take that and take it back up to the upside. So this is what I mean by trying to be patient for Ford and respecting this 19 bottom and giving it a little more room. So we didn't give it much room on Friday. We took a 20-cent hit, then made some money back, then took it to the long side. So if we can do that again today, I think we will. So let's get some bids down here, 19 quarters, things like that, and see what happens down 19 for Ford. I really, really like that level.
And just, I want to come back to Lucid for a quick second because this level's too good to mention, to not to mention. The gap down through 33 last week, and sometimes you look for these big flushes. When this broke that major support on the daily chart at 33, you go back to 28.50, which was previous resistance on that breakout. And what do we have right here? We had a 28.50 top. So that support turned into resistance on the way down. It flushed in the afternoon. We're right back up towards that 28. So, you know, if you're taking a breakout right now off of 28 even, just note that that monster level on the daily chart is right there for you at 28.50, and it failed there on Friday. So, you know, to me, it's a fade in front of 28.50. It can't be a breakout until it gets through that price in particular on Lucid.
I'm just going to mention this IMPP, a little one from Friday, if you remember. This was one of those crazy low float stocks that went nuts on Friday, up to 3.5. Just breaking back down here, coming into $1 again. So huge volume went off there to the sell side. It was up, I just read it was up 89% on Friday. And today, here we are down 43%. So IMPP, worth a note. Let's bring this over and let's talk about Cathie Wood. We were on this show on Friday talking about Robinhood earnings and how strong this thing was. And Sean, you mentioned this, or the possibility, I guess, of this occurring. But 2.447 100 shares bought up by Kathy Wood and ARC on Friday.
I thought, and thanks for pointing that out, Brendan, because I brought this up even as it was happening here, that I thought that this exact buy was ARC right here at 10:09. And I don't know if they timestamp their trades or not, but that seemed like it. And the reason why is it was just a market order, right? And so whenever you see market orders get hit, that's not typical of, like a day trader or somebody that, cares about the prices they're in at. I don't think she cares at all. And it was a good market buy. And it just was like one big, huge buy in here that happened either at the top or what, but started getting it going. It topped out there. So that's the end of the shares. Happens at 11:50. Then it comes back down just minutes. This is why I think it was her. And obviously on a market order as well, all the way back down here to $11. And then we take off the rest of the day. And I don't know if this is where like the minions came in and just started following her, started buying, or if she bought it on all of the dips in here. And then obviously Friday afternoon, we kind of just barcoded before taking off a little bit into the close up to that 1280. I think Robinhood is virtually dead until someone buys them, and I think Goldman could come in and buy them. I think there are a lot of opportunities to come in, step in, and buy some Robinhood. So we'll wait to see what happens here, but I'm a short until, and I actually have the short already at 1280 right here. We'll see if it takes it out, and then I just don't think that we break through 13. But as we stated on the sticky note here, that, and I just said that exactly, short until 13, and then we go long. If it breaks 13, this is not like, and I added that Lucid 2850. I like that level. That level's now on the sticky note as well. But it's the same kind of thing here. If we break through 13, then I definitely think we test 1350 and then maybe even higher. Who knows? Is she going to come in and defend this buy? Probably. And if she does, we notice that was at 10 o'clock. Well, this is the 1 minute chart. Here it is. That was at 10 o'clock there that she came in on Friday and bought this name. So we'll see about 10:10. We'll see if it happens again here today. I'm short Robinhood until 13.
Yeah, the only difference I might have is I'm looking at this previous top at 1360, and again, I just think this could be a bit of a resistance area as well. So I do favor the fade, but you have to also, I'm looking at this $12 level on Robinhood because you're going to have that pullback in the afternoon and be able to support that, and then we're right in that channel with that $12 even right there on Hood. So count me in for 12. I want to get to this IINN because I know you guys are talking about it on the chat. It's another low float runner here. And look, there's been about 1 million of these lately, but I feel like I think it was 5 million share float on IINN here. And just it's approaching the 50 period. It's approaching what would be like its first area of resistance at about like this 325. If we were to break that, it's actually got some room to $4 and then $5. So another one of these crazy low floaters. Just be careful trading it, especially if you're going to try shorting this, because we've seen what these can do after the open.
There was a headline on that and it was a distribution deal. 212 million. There we go. Thanks. 212 million to distribute the product in 6 states in the U.S. Teaming up with that GlowMed for IINN. Big move, still going on volume though. Good to watch that. As Neil said, 5 million on the float for that one. Beyond Meat, positive here again in the pre-market, guys. Another upgrade for Beyond Meat. I mean, it kind of feels like a broken record today. A lot of these daily charts specifically, if you look at them, look very similar. Big moves down, trying to form a base, and then all the analysts come in and start upgrading them.
Yeah.
Welcome to Wall Street, right?
Exactly.
And that's the whole point about Beyond Meat. We talked about the huge short interest that they have, and it's a nice bump up. Again, some of these bottoms, I mean, they got bumped up on a short interest call not too long ago, and we actually tweeted that out that day, noticing that there was huge short interest. But this is just a 20-minute chart. It's all the way back down, man. I mean, $54, I never thought we would, I thought we would see some of these levels, but Beyond Meat down to 50 is a very, very interesting spot. I think this must have been the day that we identified the short squeeze, because it went from $60 all the way to 73, 74, and that seems to have been the top. And now today, Beyond Meat goes again. It's on the sticky note as a great idea. I think it's going to be a great opportunity here to trade this. I'm just really surprised that the volume, only 116,000 shares, doesn't seem to be too much considering it's on people's eyes. The double upgrade here, new partnerships as restaurants start to become popular again. I'm hoping so. Anyways, finally here in Canada, we can now dine indoors. So we'll see. That's been a big drag down here for Beyond Meat again, not being able to pump it out into restaurants and get going. But they do have the deals. I like them. I want to look at them here at $60. I just wrote down that they still have the heavy short. They're now at a double upgrade. Let's try the long through 60. It's just I didn't want to put that order in until the market opens up because I feel like we could do that sort of double touch again where we hit 60 and then tank all the way down. Unfortunately, and this is what, again, I wrote down, there's really no levels. We're already too high up. Like 60 is already way high up. So there's really no levels in here to sort of defend. If anything, it comes back in here 56-ish. I would love to get the long back in around 56, 55. So we'll see if Beyond Meat comes up to that or comes down to there. But other than that, man, we're already we're in no man's land here on the 20 period. So I don't know. It's got to dance around here a bit. I like the 60 break, but there's just not enough volume for me to take that early.
Yeah, it's just the volume is everything, and there's none here. It's just there's literally no action, and that just feels like a trap to me. You're going to get a gap up like this in a name which is squeezable and not have any interest in buying it in the pre-market with 10 minutes till the open, and it's still not doing anything. There's a part of me that if I wasn't looking for some fades in Lucid and then maybe a couple of other names, I might even be thinking about just like a tight stop short because the volume is so low on Beyond Meat, and then just know that you have to be getting out at 60 even. But I'm not even doing that. I don't see the volume, and I'm surprised because last time, usually when this gets a little bit of news, you'll have some action in the pre-market. Just worth noting a couple of things. That IINN got to 350 and turned a bit, but the volume's still churning through pretty well on that one. Not much of a pullback.
All right, let's talk quickly here, guys, maybe about some of the chip makers. As we said, AMD tomorrow for earnings, kind of leading, in fact, 2.7 to the upside here in the pre-market, trying to get through 108 as we sit here. But a few of these, or a few names from this group going to report this week. Big week for them.
Yeah, so we tried dip buying on AMD last week. And I just look at this. The difference, I think, to start today, at least to start this week, is we bounced off 100. I think that's pretty significant. And we reestablished some support with that bottom again in the afternoon at about 2:30. So you had a double bottom at 100. Now, this is a stock and probably the only one that I'm looking to go long that's below Monday's lows. So that's the first thing, which I should have at least a little bit of a red flag. But it also has a chance to break out from Monday's lows if you can get through like a 108.50. But breakouts have not been the jam recently. So I'm going to stick with buying the dip in front of the pre-market low. If we can hold that, that also is Friday's highs, right? So you're looking at Friday's highs and the close at 105.25. That's where I want to be a buyer in front of on AMD. If you can make a base above 108 and reestablish Monday's bottom, that's not a horrible place to start operating. But you got to keep in mind, they still haven't reported yet. And some of these names have gotten finicky when they go into those earnings reports. Although because the chip names started out so poorly, I kind of feel like that would bode at least a little bit well for AMD because it was a disappointment for almost every single chip name that's already come out with earnings. And by the way, there goes that KSCP through 1950. 17 even, that's the next level. But try to catch the dip on that when it went about 40, 50 cents in the money. But 17 looks like it's the next level down.
Yeah, watch out for some of those names rocking and rolling. Look, I have it on the sticky note here for AMD. I mean, what a beast this stock is, man. I mean, congratulations to Pratt, anybody that's been buying this thing. I've been buying the SMH instead, but that's been a pretty good story. AMD, 2.58%, continues to rock and roll. Like I said, I was talking about Intel and how disappointed that has been, but I didn't even realize that AMD was just rocking up that 2.6% today. So scratch looking at Intel. You come back in, if we can get anything down here, 104, 105, and I mean, we've already pegged that for you over and over again. I keep saying it every day. We don't like to trade these breakouts off the open. I used to always hit them like over and over again, and it was a great strat. I had probably my best trading year in 2021, and using breakouts and stuff. It hasn't worked out. The market's way too volatile, especially a name like AMD. You've seen these bottoms. I had these bottoms on Friday, so we'll wait to do them again down here near $100, $101. A very, very similar name is Softy when you get to some of these levels that we're going to wait for down near 300. So I wrote down on the sticky note AMD, Softy, and Ford all at very key levels, 19, 100, and 300 for all this. I probably won't get into too many shares early on. I do have Robinhood I'm looking at. I think that's the closest trade for me to get into, which would be a short, because I think it does probably pop up a little bit. We have Neo, Ford. Other than that, and a little bit of a stink bid here on Palantir if we get down into the 1220-ish area as well. So not really looking at some of these names already off the open. The more aggressive names like the Apples, the AMDs, the Facebooks. Let's just play off some stocks that are near key levels now, and then if the market comes down to us, then we'll play it. We're getting very, very trying to be more like a sniper here and get that pew-pew action rather than those big-time bangs.
Yeah, good advice going into, as we said, final trading session of the month here. FGI I want to mention here quickly because it seems like as IINN, a couple of the other little ones pop up on higher volume, the interest in this is going away. So some of this volume we saw early on dying off a little bit. So two things I marked down here, 575 and then 650, which is basically the top. Remember, this was an IPO last week, 2.5 million shares. So if you are short, as I am, you have to be out if it breaks 575 or give it to day highs. But be very careful with this one. Could be a runner if it starts holding above those levels, 575, 580, guys.
Yeah, speaking of that aforementioned IINN, we actually don't have locates of that one, so we'll double check back on it. And then IMPP, which is the other one that Brendan mentioned, which is getting absolutely getting absolutely crushed down into a buck. This is a late entrant, obviously, but if you go back to last week, it managed to hold $1 before. This is a pretty massive capitulation, so we'll be looking at the $1 level on IMPP as well. So the list getting larger and larger, and of course, I'm going to add one other one to it. I don't think we talked about Spotify. It is on our watch list. It's actually up on the day. Spotify up 5%. You know, obviously there's been a lot of controversy with it and yada, yada, yada. Everyone knows the story by now, Neil Young, Joe Rogan. But a strong bounce and back above those Monday lows, 177. Put a capitulation bottom in on Friday at 165. You know, have a look at this 195 area for potential fade. But I think this looks to me like it can be bought in front of the dip at 175. Pretty strong opening salvo here for Spotify and Tesla. Making a run off those highs. I'm not sure we're going to get a look at that 850 at the open as it's about to break the pre-market top.
Yeah, I forgot about AMC. Yeah, we can look at that for sure, taking near 15. So again, we almost got out again here as NEO goes up to 64 before dancing around. So again, our first target here, we're just waiting at the pre-market high of 70. We missed it by 1 penny about 10 minutes ago when we were at 907. Yeah, 20 minutes ago. We were up to 2169. We're waiting at 2170. So this is the name that we're in right now. It's not a big position. We talked about taking out the tops. When that does happen, we don't want to just get crazy into this stock. So we're going to wait for this to fade back into some 21s and even lower, man. My next bid is not until 2050, just in case we do, crush all the way to the downside. Now that I see this, I think we can put another bid here around 2080, just in case it comes in. But we have defended 21, so we'll watch out for NEO here off the open. Again, we'll put some bids in. Let's just see how it goes. That's why we're going to watch it. NEO does have a big bid here. Zila has a sell. That's a name that a lot of you guys like as well. Visa with a sell, Ford with a buy, Root, that's not zero yet, is it? No, that's almost $2. That's crazy. Alibaba, yeah, so other than that, man, not much happening. And NASDAQ came out, so I was going to throw this over to you guys to see if there's anything happening on the NASDAQ. Huh? You do see the NASDAQ has a bid imbalance. That's the triple Qs. So that actually is the NASDAQ. So we'll watch out for that. But yeah, not much on the imbalances and really not much moving right now. I'm not going to be in any of those low float stocks, man. They haven't been very profitable for me, or I don't know. I don't want to speak for anybody else, but over the last little while. So I'm going to stay away from those. AMC, quickly. We only have 2 minutes left. Will not be Miss V on the bell, and she's going to be taking some vacation time in Mother Russia right now. So, okay, AMC here, 15. This is the 20-minute chart. Ooh, not a bad level here, 1550 if we can get going. I don't mind taking that out if that's something there. 1550 for AMC, but yeah, we do like it back here. But has to get low 14s. We hit 1350. I mean, Friday was a horrible day. day for a lot of names. So down there, we won't necessarily think of that as the near-term bottom. Hopefully it is. But yeah, nice little move upside today for AMC. Up nothing, but at least it's holding up right now near that 15 mark. So we will watch out for AMC. Let's bid a little bit down here anyways in case it does dip, man. 1430 coming for AMC. Nice little move here in crypto as well. Bitcoin back to 37 and Ethereum 25.
Yeah, Bitcoin should make some power moves, get back to 40,000. That'd be nice. But before it gets there, probably a little consolidation has to happen. I think it's a big week across the market. This KSCP, like I mentioned, it broke that support area. Now headed maybe down towards this $17 price range with a minute to go here. Remember, these low floaters can absolutely gun to the upside. And speaking of that, so 17 is your support. It's going to hold that. I think it might have a secondary bounce towards the double top at 23. I was looking at Lucid because that's the EV I want to move to trade in today. But Tesla, yeah, I might not get that 850. It just broke the high of the day and continues to run here. So if that drags Lucid up to that 2850 area, going to have an eye on that at the open. So far, it's managing to hold below that. 885, 880 to 885 is recent area resistance on Tesla, as once again, it tends to lead the way. I'm assuming it's dragging a few names up with it, although Lucid is the one I'll be watching off the open and not seeing too much action there.
Yeah, we're going to be watching Lucid as well. Hit the siren alert right now because there it is. We're out of NIO already. So a nice little win there. Out at 70 on NEO. We're 1 for 1 already with just a 20-cent win, but we're holding the rest as NEO starting to go here. Look at the futures really starting to go with less than 5 seconds left.
3, 2, and ring it. Lucas was on the bell. Good job filling in for Miss V there. And yeah, Tesla gets to 875 at the open. I'm watching Lucid here. It cannot get through the high of the day. As usual, it's just a little bit of a laggard. That FGI looking like it might break $5. And if you're tracking Robinhood, that's sideways at 1250. Lucid just immediately to the downside. Sometimes you just have to get in a little bit early.
Yeah, watch out for Lucid for sure. That name is oopsies. That's a crazy name, Lucid. There to watch out for that. We can watch out for Hood. NEO, I mean, again, guys, yeah, we're on one more time. So let's go. Yeah, buddy. All the way up to $22 right now, 30 cents in the money for NIO. So that's going to be a good trade for us. So far, so good there for NIO. Yeah, let's go. $22 now for NEO. So it looks like we picked the right one here. We can get it out at 22 even. That's not horrible. And then we'll look to see what we're going to do from there. So nice little bump up here for NIO as it looks to take out 22. But again, it's a nice move up for the NASDAQ. So maybe we need to look for some shorts here as the market is just ripping. There goes NEO. Good trade for us right there on NEO. So yeah, buddy.
And INN looks like it just reversed hard trying to get through that 350 area. That's a pretty big capitulation candle off of the open. I'm going to take a baby starter in Lucid just because I want to make sure I get into it. But INN looking at 350 is a bit of a temporary top here. It's getting pretty weak as we do watch this. And KSCP has held that $17 range. So that looks like it's going to be all systems go. Like I said, I don't want to completely sit out Lucid in front of that area. I've seen it do this, and then I miss any initial flush on Lucid. So I do take it when it broke 27.75. I got 63s as a starter. And as usual, Lucid just falls like a rock. It doesn't even give you that curl.
No, it's not giving you anything there. Yeah, Lucid absolutely falling as the market is coming back down pretty strong here as well. We let NEO go all the way up, right? But this was the thing is that we are obviously identified as well here with NEO that the market right now is not helping out any of these NEO shares. So as we come back in, we'll look to see if we're getting faded on anything out here because the market's pulling back in. So let's go to look to see at some of these prices that we like. Robinhood to the downside, I'm going to assume right now. We missed that trade. We were waiting for a pop. No pop coming. Damn it. That's my bad because we should have had that. We were waiting for 13. A little bit too early there on that. We actually waited at 1280 to get short. It went up to 1278. So that was a bad mistake there. Let's see if Ford is retesting some of these lows as the market just continues to make moves down, right? This is a good opportunity for us to pick something up. Ford not there yet. So let's just be patient. We're in a 12-cent winner with NEO. Other than that, we got to wait for some of these levels to hit. Maybe an AMD.
Yeah, we'll do this one. pop and drop as usual on the small cap here. FGI goes right up to the resistance level, 545 here right before the open, and we'll quickly scalp from that to 5 even. I still want to hang on to it, but I'm watching out for Lucid as well, as that got all the way down to 27.40 and then made a bit of a retracement. Now this first short, I liked it off this 27.75, but let's remember, it's a 28.50 area that's the big one, so I'm not going to get stubborn about being short down here. If it wants to make too harsh a reversal, I am going to have to take this one off. KSCP, the other one worth watching, is barcoding off the bottom. So holding above 17, that's the key price area for KSCP. If it's above there, I think it still has a secondary run potentially. And then IINN looks like it's going to try to get back to that 350. I'm sitting here, get a little more aggressive, started at the quarters, but 350, that's that resistance area. Just broken through twice, once pre-market, once right at the open, and then reverse each time. I'll give it one shot. If it breaks out the high of the day, this is a halt candidate.
It looks like Neo right there. We take another 50. So we only took one trade so far today, and we took 20 cents and then we took 50 cents. So now we are out. Ooh, I got to cancel some of these offers out there. That's why. No, they're not offers. Okay. I was going to wonder why that was like that, but it's because we had a higher offer. So a nice little rebound here in the market. So good for us. Taking out that Neo, who knows where it's going to go, but we did not get the reload. Netflix also takes out 400, so that could be a level to look at. Again, I like it a little bit lower than this. Look at the spread already, 50 cents for NIO, for Netflix. So we'll pass on Netflix for right now, but although it's nicely moving, so is Ford. Ford may be going to take this top off right now at 1960. We'll see what that wants to do. This is just a daily chart. We have the 50 periods all the way up at 21, so that's not going to be anything right now, but 1960, 1965. Again, I don't really want to take out these tops, but we might have no choice.
Tesla.
Right now. If Tesla's going, Neo's already been a monster winner for us. Wish we still had it, but I guess Tesla's going, so maybe we will just punch forward.
Yeah, Tesla's starting to go here, and look, I put in a tight stop at 28 because I want to play 28.50 on Lucid, but one of the reasons is because of Tesla. Like, you're seeing a strong pump up to that 880 to 885 level. Now, if it reverses off resistance, that could be good for Neo. The other name, they sold off some patents, and I said if BlackBerry popped, that we'd be doing the other thing to it. It just got to 785, so I went short in front of that at 780. $8 the key price area. Actually 805 technically. We said 8, but short to 805 is what I have in my notes. Just a little bit, a couple of pennies higher. We're going to give that one too. And IINN, we just got into that one a couple of seconds ago. It then failed again at 344, so it keeps trying to break this 50 level. A couple of times through and then fading back in. I'm going to get out some in front of $3. And then see if this one can capitulate through that price, that $3 level. I think if it gets through that, you could see 275 rather quickly.
Apple just took out 171 or so. SoFi rocking and rolling here. Just looking for some opportunities, as the only thing we've done so far is in and out of Neo for 50 cents. But the market still is ripping up. AMD maybe. Again, like just trying to find things that are at levels that we like. And I'm not really finding anything right now as the market's just kind of up and down right now. What do you have there?
It's
the
the
Beyond Me. We love that.
It was a volume. That's the reason we didn't like Beyond Me. Well, we did like Beyond Me. We just didn't like the trade because the volume wasn't there. But Beyond Me, with the break of that tight consolidation pre-market, and it's above that $60 price range. It's still not doing a ton of volume, but certainly an opportunity there, and we'll go do some backflips. IINN here, it does fail at 350. We got in after like the second time it failed. Now down to $3. We're able to take the 25 cents out on the last trade. If it breaks 3, I think we'll get even more than that. Brendo.
Netflix, guys, just popping up at day highs there. I guess tons of volume went off through 405. Now 5.5% for Bill Ackman and Netflix, guys.
I forget the dip buy.
Yeah, you're not going to be getting any of that there. But I mean, I'm glad we talked about that when they came out with earnings, and we were talking about buying that name. So I hope some of you did do that. We are into Beyond Meat here at 60.50. We wanted this, well, 60.46. We wanted this earlier, and it's the number 2 name or number 3 name on the sticky note. And you know, we liked it breaking through 60. At least if you guys had that, hopefully you're able to take this dollar. We're in the money now, 50 cents, and we'll see now we're in the money 70 cents. So there it is, man. The good idea that was Beyond Meat. That is all over the sticky note right here for that long on that double upgrade. Now goes in the money $1 for us on for Beyond Meat. And so we may just take that again as this market is kind of just just churning around here. I don't even really know what it wants to do. It's kind of back and forth, so any kind of big pops like that, up to 61.50 right there. I mean, we could take a smooth dollar. We don't normally look at things like, oh, it's in the money $1, I'll take it. But I told you already about this name. There's really nothing. I mean, I think we can get to the 50 period, which is 67, but do I think that that's going to happen today right away? No. So, you know, some of these profit levels need to be taken. That was 61.50 right there. The high was been 62 before on Beyond Meat. So see, now it's right back in. So, you know, you got to put your offers out, get ready to rock and roll. And the crazy thing here is we miss Hood again by 2 cents. Look where it is now. It would be $1 in the money. Robinhood's a NASDAQ name. All the way down through 12 now in Robinhood just today. I told you, we'll wait for Aunt Kathy to save it. But right now, Robinhood appears to be in trouble back down near sub 12 right now.
Yeah, and two things. One, we just took first leg out on BlackBerry, so again, it'll be a good one to the short side. But KSCP, it did make that turn. It did not get to $17, which was the next level I was looking at, but it's halted to the upside. But this is in no man's land. It's got a double top 23 that's still in play. I think it needs to break out that price. It's currently halted at $21.48. The current indicated open price is $22. It should be a 5-minute halt, so you still have a few minutes for that to jump around. But that double top, $23.30 in the pre-market here, and then aftermarket on Friday was basically the same thing. That one looks like it could start to go parabolic. Watch out for that break.
Ford, AMD, Microsoft, and I'm just looking at, because right now I'm just going through my own sticky note right here, because we've already gone 1 for 1 with NEO. We're into Beyond Meat. That was $1 winner, but now it's come back in. Let's see if the NASDAQ continues to want to run. And again, I'm just not in anything yet as much as I should be. Not as much as I should be. I mean, I'm waiting for key prices, and that's part of it, right? Use a little bit more shares, wait for better prices. Ford's now coming in, so we are going to get close to this one to take this bid right now. I don't know why Ford's down. The S&P is basically flat right now. The Qs, so I think there's a lot of people. We'll look at AMC. Thanks for that, James. That's another name that we could definitely have a look at. I was looking at Ford coming into these levels. I like it, but again, why is it weak today when the NASDAQ in the market is absolutely ripping? So Ford, we might get into some trouble, but I gotta wait for better prices on that one. There goes Beyond Meat. Let's go, man. 50 cents in the money right now on BYND. We already have the target. It's a smooth $1 on that. We've already been upside. If we can get another $1, or if we can get the $1 on Beyond Meat, we'll take it and we'll just go 2 for 2. A 50-cent winner, but NEO should be a lot more than, well, that's fine. We'll take NEO for what it's worth. It's now 60 cents in the money. We took 50, and then we're trying to get this Beyond Meat, but look at the spread here. It just did open up. Like I was in the money 70 cents, and all of a sudden it flashed and showed me 30 cents. So watch out here. We do have higher targets here for Beyond Meat, but it's not too much higher than where it is right now. Twitter to 36. What's up, Brendan?
X, guys. We had the 10-year. People were asking why the NASDAQ is leading. Yeah, tech stocks are strong. The 10-year back to highs, 1.82 this morning. So the S&P, a little bit of a laggard here, but some resource stocks I just noticed starting to pop up here, including U.S. Steel, once again up 3% here. Took out $20 there on decent volumes for X.
Right.
Interesting U.S. Steel there. Halted is that FGI stock into $6. $6 is a big level. It's actually looking like it's going to tap below that. I'm actually shorted in front of that price level. Looks like it's going to open right now, indicating opening down 8 cents or so. So going into that high day resistance. Tesla just broke 885 to the upside. Lucid, by the way, though. Yeah, Lucid's still well below that 28 level, so I'm still in the short. I haven't added to it since getting some more shares in front of 28, but the fact that it's not going, I think, makes it obvious the difference between these two. Tesla won the race. Although I don't think it mattered that the YouTube race between Tesla and Lucid. It just, I think it was an interesting anecdote, but Lucid once again looking weak. Tesla's up 4.5%, and Lucid can't even get to the high of the day. We just broke $3 on IINN as that continues to flush into the downside, and then it was KSCP. That is the other one, still halted, and indicating a $22 open. That will be open first in about 1 minute or so. These things can get pretty dicey, but it's 23, the double top from Friday, that I think it has to get through to really go parabolic.
Meanwhile, there we go, another $1. So we took another $1. We're going to go 2 for 2 here. Really smooth trading so far today. Just take the best trades you can find, and there's Beyond Meat, long at 60.50, out at 61.50. So I did exactly the same pricing. So we got in at 46 and out at 46. So $1 in the money now. Well, now it would be more than that, but we took that smooth $1 as we were not expecting the NASDAQ to do this here today. Just keeps on going up, 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 and away, which is absolutely fantastic, man. Like NEO with the a big long there, and Beyond Meat with a big long. So we're going to go 2 for 2, and this is how I'm going to keep doing it, man. Just keep giving you guys the bangers, giving you guys the winners and the key levels. That's the thing for me. That is what we're all about. Not just like saying, oh, this stock is at this price, I'm just going to go long, right? Like we knew we liked Beyond Meat at 60, so of course we're going to like it at 60.50, and then it goes all the way back up to the upside. So we're trying to be like like I said, very, very sniperish here today, and what we've been doing all last week. Last week was a positive week for us. This is once again, another up month. So not much to complain about as far as the strategies and how we're trading here. It's been a really tough month for a lot of traders, right? We're happy to be up, and we're definitely, not touting it as a great month, but so far so good. And today's the last day, so let's just keep the momentum going. One name I'm noticing here, though, and we'll talk about some others, but Microsoft and remember I was saying about the big cap tech? I mean, I know Apple's was going today. I have to yeah, so still up, still 172. So still up here, but names like Microsoft lagging big time today. So I don't know why Microsoft is down, but it is down. This is definitely a cause for concern. Maybe we got to look for a short here.
Yeah, and KCP, it opens up and just instantly halts to the upside again. So it did break that $23 level, got right through a churn and just immediately halted. It looks like it's tapping at $25. It is absolutely off to the races. Looks like it is gonzo. But, we try to pick the relative weakness in Lucid. Tesla just got to $8.95. Lucid is still in exactly the same range. The stock can't get out of its own way. And if it can't break that $28.50, it's going to be a point where I just have to add in front of 28 at some point. And one name, which is a big one from last week. I don't want to ignore Affirm here. Affirm with a failed breakout here. Just got through 61 and then absolutely, not really flush, but sold off. That 61 level, by the way, this is what it looks like. So 61 was that top from last week. So decent chance that this could be another one of those ugly days for Affirm after that bit of a rejection off the high of the day. Watch out Tesla 900. It looks like that FGI is open and looks like it's going to take a shot at that 6.
All right, Miss Aunt Kathy is back in the building here as Robinhood just goes from 11.85 straight upside, and I'm not seeing like any crazy market buys or anything, so we will edge into our position now. We are in at 12.40 on the short side here for Robinhood. I don't know. I wasn't sure, so this is not a big position. We're still waiting for our 1280s. We got to get a little more aggressive than 1280, though. I think. Excuse me. Just chug that water there. 1270 maybe we'll sit at and change. Let's change our order from 1280 to 1270 in case we get up there. Again, we will take on some more shares. We'll take on triple the position that we have right now. So this is a small one. We'll put on triple the shares up here and get a better average price around that 1260. And again, I'm fully aware that we're standing in front of a train right now. We've seen Robinhood do this on Friday, right? I mean, we just ramp. Just kept on ramping up until we broke the 50 period back down to the downside. So right now, we've already taken this up. Here we go. Robinhood starting to get excited again. Our last offer, honestly, will be at 80. Or whatever my last fill is, 80, 90, something like that. As we're legging into this trade, I'm just making sure we do have that. I got to cancel that Beyond Meat order. We do have that out now. Cancel all these Beyond Meats. We do have it out, so there we go. I'm short now. To get out if it breaks through 13. So we don't want to fight the momentum here. If this rips through 13, we will reverse into a long, and then maybe we just get thrown around, man. Maybe this short doesn't work. I know Hood it wasn't as disastrous for me on Friday. We made money on it, but it definitely was not clean, and we had to wait for that to happen. So let's see now what happens with Robinhood. I'm not going to be averaging in too much more than this. That 80 just got taken out. So yeah, we're getting very, very close here for Mr. Hood to make a move to the upside. Takes out 13. And we're gone.
Yeah, FGI broke 6 even, so we jam out of that trade. I think you had the shot at 650, which is the high of the day, but Lucid, more importantly, we had that tight stop at 28 because 28.50 is the more key level. So we try the roll over when it looked like it was relatively weak. It's still lagging behind Tesla, but 28.50 is definitely coming into play here. It just got to the quarters, so I just took my first entry point in Lucid to the short side, and I want to come back over to the market just turned, at least the NASDAQ did a little bit. AMD basically still going sideways here. So I still like the idea of being in front of the pre-market lows, but AMD with a decent chance to maybe start to accelerate to the upside and hold a higher low. That would be about 107. For now, let's go to Brendan.
Another fan favorite, DWAC, guys. Day highs here. Just took out 72 on decent volume here, starting to go as well.
DWAC.
DWAC,
Okay.
yeah. CFVI, I think, is a better investment than DWAC, but just because it's been pretty consistent there, and you don't have to dance too much around the price of CFVI. But we will look at DWAC. I was just looking at Palantir here because it's up 4%, and it's on a runway here today to the upside. Now you're sort of consolidating. Nervous about going long because of the NASDAQ right here, also consolidating near the top. I would rather the NASDAQ be somewhere near its 50 period. It's way up from here right now. I expect the NASDAQ to consolidate down a little bit here. It's been a rough ride, obviously, for the NASDAQ, although I was telling my father, he came over last night, and had great visit with him and my mom, and I said, like, as long as you close your eyes, and this was because of Brendan, I thought about this, he brought this to our attention last week, the NASDAQ and the market, basically, if you close your eyes Monday morning and open them back up Friday, you would thought you missed nothing, but yet you missed everything. So that's where we kind of look at this and say maybe the NASDAQ does have some pullback down into it now, up that 1%, really on nothing here today other than just no negative news. So COVID still is what it is. I don't hear too much rhetoric about that anymore. So let's see if the NASDAQ comes back down to the downside here. Palantir getting faded. I'd much rather this at 13 than anywhere else, as I'm just surprised. Robinhood, I went short. If I short anything else in the last 10 minutes, we're probably in the money. But right now, Robinhood, yeah, this looks like it wants to take it out. Last fill right there at 1280. They're there. They're buying Robinhood like hand over fist right now. So this will be a loser for us. But
before we go to Brendan quickly,
yep.
The KSCP opened up, and I tried to grab it here to the short side. It got to $25 on a dime and then just flushed. So that trade that we usually like, back through the whole price and then shorting it, almost impossible to get it. I wasn't fast enough. Brendan has another name for us.
Yeah, the buy program's all turned on at the same time. It looks like TKLF, another low floater that went crazy into the close on Friday, just popping back up through 375 there, coming back in a bit. But TKLF on volume, guys.
TKLF,
That's
they are the NFTs,
right.
I believe. Okay, so here we go. As the market comes down, and we called the market coming down, we are definitely on the wrong stock here because Robinhood is right now getting elevated. It sucks because this is the name that I looked at here, and it's the only name that I have. So, of course, all of my focus is right here on Hood. If this breaks through 13, man, we have to get out. I mean, I'm not going to hold this one. We've already averaged in. You can see where our price is, man, 65. So this is not in trouble for me. It's not going to be, obviously we want to make money. So every time we lose, it comes out of our pocket. So I'm not happy with it. But at the same time, to take a 65 out at O's, we could take 35-cent hit all day long. So if that does happen, that's what we expect. I am expecting it to come in like a 50 period of 1250 is where we'll put a bid right now. And hopefully be able to have that one come back in as BlackBerry just touches today. It's back up a little bit now, but it touches 740. Oh, there it is. So Robinhood goes out as I looked at my screen. Like for 2 seconds, that name just ripped up there. We are now long Robinhood, but BlackBerry touches 52-week lows.
Yeah, come on, BlackBerry. Like it should be. I kind of feel like it goes in the money 10 cents for me and can't go any further than that. We'll do this one for Lucid. So, like I said, we didn't get the price that we wanted initially, so we're just going to go with a tight stop and then take more shares up here in front of that 28.50. So it just went to 28.40 and then back to 28. The next leg would be the middle of this consolidation around that 75 mark, and we'll try to reload this one as many times as we can, noting that it is a bit bullish going into this, and that the overall EV space is very strong this morning. And a lot of it probably having to do with, again, you had Monday bottoms last week, and then you're finding some strength overall in some of these beat-up names. And it is a sector that had come back in pretty heavily. IINN, which is another one that we're going to continue to track here. Bouncing off of 290, we got a couple legs out in front of 3. I'm now looking for it to break a little bit lower through that 290 before getting any more shares out. 350 is the only place that I would like to reload. And I did, you can't really trade everything. But this IMMP is on my radar, the one that went from like 150 down to $1. It's managed to hold $1 here. So it breaks and goes to 99 cents and then slams back up. Well, it doesn't really get very far. It's right back holding at $1. If it takes it out a second time, I think that could be worth it for the short. But there were better fish to fry at the open.
So we are long long Robinhood here. We talked about that plan of action there. On there it is. So now we're out some at 9s. We'll try to make this back here. Losing that 35 cents, we can make it back. We talked about that. We're going to wait for it to go now on Robinhood. Our route is 1280 on the long, so we could get thrown back and forth on that name for sure. I remember talking about this with Brendan when Square was down near $100, and this is what I'm talking about. Why I believe that there's, Microsoft's not going up right now as much as it should be. Facebook's not going up as much as it should be right now. Apple is going because Apple is the market, and that's always going to seem to be pretty strong. But again, I think that there's a lot more money being put into some of these names that we know on an aggressive tape can rip like crazy. So up 6% today, taking out new highs right now on the ES and on the NASDAQ is the market. So look at Square, just continuing to march to the north side here. Great opportunity, man. 117. That's a great job to buy Square in the last couple of days as it bounces off that 100 mark. There's so many key levels, man. Ford, Square, AMD, a lot of names. Wow, look at Ford. We talked about Ford in the pre-market, man. We wanted that name and we didn't get it. So darn it. I'm battling with Robinhood and missing out so many more opportunities right here, including Ford, which is on our sticky note, man, for that break of 1960. It's on here, 1960 break. Do we have it? No, we do not. It would only be 25 cents in the money. Damn it, Square, or damn it, Ford. We'll have you again.
There goes Lucid. Lucid just broke that 28.50 level, not 25.
Oh, we like that one.
28.50. I just reversed into the long trade. GM also making a bounce off $50 and getting through 51.50. So it's the entire EV space just absolutely screaming to the upside there. Brendan.
Another one you can throw in that possibly overdone group. I mean, separate news obviously on this today, but day highs here. Another volume alert there, guys, at 188 for Spotify.
Oh, that was, yeah, okay, whatever. Spotify was one that we kind of liked, probably not nearly enough, obviously, as we don't end up getting into it. That KSCP, this is, it's almost eerie, but these halt prices, this is 21.50 where it halted the first time. It is now bounced off that at the reopen. It was a low, and then since it opened down, it's now bounced 3 times, now 4 times off 21.50 on KSCP. This one is primed that it might make another run here, and $25 just stands right in front of you for a potential breakout price. So, if it's going to hold the halt price here, then I want to see it make a run at that 21.50, 25 level. Not a horrible risk to reward if you go long with the stop at that 21.50 because you can get out inside of the range. It wouldn't necessarily have to break that 25 for a profitable trade for you.
All right, so Palantir is somewhat going. We missed that 13.25 break, but again, maybe we take it back to VWAP of 13.12 here for PLTR. That's probably, and again, it's just like some of these names, man, like 5%. Do we really want to buy Palantir up 5? I don't know. We will take a shot at it if we can get some 31s, which will probably come through here in a minute on the bid. If we sit there, there we go. Now we take it at 31s. As it flushes through, we take some of those bids. Now we'll see if this one wants to go upside. And again, we'll take it back through VWAP. If we come back and retest some of these here, then we can get out, but or get some more into 13.15 or so. But here goes Palantir, hopefully back up to the upside. We're just long at 31s. We'll scalp out. Whoa, okay. We'll scalp out a piece at 40. Yes, sir. There it is. 40.41s. I mean, soon as we get this trade, man, it just rips up to the high side here. Go, Palantir, go. Nice little move upside for this name. We're long into this and we're long into Hood. Hood now nicely up 16 cents as well. So all is good over here so far on some of these longs that we have. Robinhood now 15 cents in the money. Just making this money back right now. We did take a 35-cent hit, so we need this thing to go back to the upside, but we'll wait to see. Again, 35-cent hit can't be overcome by 20-cent wins. So we need to get a little higher up here, but we do know that Robinhood, I don't like the long, man, but what time is it?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, we gotta do what we gotta do. So right now we're taking out some profit on that name, and then Palantir. Wow, Palantir, dab up on Palantir, guys. Like, what happened to that stock? We just went over there and bought it. Are you minions buying this with me? Are we the new Aunt Kathy over here, guys? A nice little move up for Palantir. Let's take one more piece out, and then see if we take out 13.50. Let's go, PLTR, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be long Lucid, but 28.50, I can't ignore it. If you look, that gap fill from last week was just so good that when it reverses, you got to scalp some out on the short trade and then go into the long. I did take a first leg out in here in front of 63, but that's only for 20% of the position. I want 75s and I want 29 even. If this is going to be us breaking back out, if this is going to be the stock breaking back out, then I think it has a chance not to fill in the gap. But when it got halfway, it had a resistance at about $31. I think it could at least get to that kind of a level if the market's going to continue to go here. And INN made a second flush down. That's on the 15-minute, but this is a minute chart here. It tried to get back into the upside. I was about to reload into a short if it got like 10 cents higher, and then it got smacked, and I got filled down here at 280. So this one looks like it could be basically dead, as it's, well, I'm not saying it's dead for the rest of the day, but at least any chance of getting a reload could be out of the window on INN unless it's before that $3 level. And KSCP, which we are still tracking, I was just trying to go in front of it on the bid, talking about in front of that 2150, and missed it. It popped right into that, I guess, halt upside price, and then rejected it. So I'm not buying in front of the dip if it's not going to break that out. You had to make that trade the first or second time it came through. If it's going to just sit there barcoding, and barcoding in the $2 range is not exactly a safe way to engage in it. BlackBerry, which is one of the only non-small float short that I still have on, is trying to get through that $8 level. It's starting to round off here. I was in front of 90s or 95s at 94. I might just wait for it to test 8 even and then get back into more shares and play that down into VWAP. It's up on the day, but you can see the volume pretty much dead here on BlackBerry, so it seems relatively safe. And Lucid right back at that 2850 and consolidating. It might need Tesla to break 900.
SoFi. Yeah, so I was looking at, whoa, Robinhood, nicely done. Now, okay, Robinhood, I see you. Starting to go back to the upside. I like it. I like that a lot right now for Robinhood. Back up to 25s. We can take a piece out here. Like I said, we did, average into this price. So, we just missed it. They're at 24. So we'll offer 24s. See if we get picked up on that one. Google down to 2660. That's okay. Not too worried about that name. NVIDIA, AMD, let's check out AMD quickly. We'll just leave Hood alone, man. I mean, I have some offers layered up there, something in the 30s, something in the 40s, and then now we just put one in the 20s. Didn't actually even expect that to go upside right there, but if it does, then that's great. Let's check out on another one that we know is a rip and a rider here. We can look at so someone said TKLF. Yeah, look, I know I missed SoFi there, Austin, but we did at least talk about it in the pre-market, so hopefully some of you are able to get that one. AMD, again, barcoding. Let's go over to SoFi quickly because, yeah, I do know that we missed that. And there goes Robinhood, so that's a good one. Yeah, SoFi. I mean, this is what I meant. Remember when I said, like, there's probably some better things you want to be in, like not traditional banks right now, like a SoFi you might want to get into, as has nothing to do with the Super Bowl, although the Super Bowl now will be hosted by the second year in a row by the home team.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, which is nuts. So the Rams are in there, although they shouldn't be. And then 1190 right there. I mean, the Rams will not win the Super Bowl because Matt Stafford will not let that happen. So more on that as we get close. 2 weeks, right, until the Super Bowl. So a lot to talk to that. Okay, so here we go to the upside right now. 1190, taking that out for SoFi. Wow, I don't know about $12. This seems to be pretty aggressive. A nice move up, and we right into those bottoms there. $12 or so. So watch out for that one coming with SoFi. So yeah. Right now, all good, but Robinhood is really the one of my most concern, as we're 35 cents in the money on that. But we need it to go up because remember, we took a 35-cent hit, and that's conveniently right where it is right now. We have some offers at 38, 39, and 40.
Yeah, and KSCP, yeah, it just broke through that 2150 area to the downside. I did take the short as it was breaking through that level, but I might have got greedy. I'm not taking a 60-cent win on the stock. You're looking for $1 or $2, and it retakes that halt price. So I'm just going to play it off the halt prices here, and then once we get one that's more of a home run, you sort of hang on to the trade, but it's tight stops until then. I'm looking for a reload in Lucid now that it's broken 2850. That might be closer into 28 or closer to VWAP as well there. So down to like 3 positions. Certainly Lucid has a chance to be a bit of an ad. Might need Tesla through 900 to make some sense as we check on the rest of what's happening now with Brendan at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, a bit of a choppy start here for North American markets. Let's have a look. S&P up 0.5%. Somebody was asking why the NASDAQ was leading. Yeah, very strong still for tech stocks here, 1.4 for both the composite and the 100 here, where the S&P just 0.5%, the Dow basically flat on the day. Small caps pretty strong as well. We did come off the highs there a little bit, but overall decent start to the week. We'll take it. A lot has to do with Netflix right now. Big move right at day highs on volume through 4:15. Guess what's next, Robbie? AMD as well, trying to make new highs. Earnings tomorrow for AMD after the close. As we said, guys, back over to you.
That's right. AMD after the close. We talked a little bit about that. We talked a little bit about BlackBerry selling some of their patents. And yeah, okay, so they're up. Well, I mean, they're up 0.5%. I was going to say it was more than that because they just got another fill in there, but it's not. They bounced about 50 pennies, but that was from being down in the session. I still like it in front of 805. That's why we got the reload. And then coming back over, this is what's happening over in Tesla. If you guys are watching this name, this name, here we go. The 885, the level that we looked at to the upside, that just held at least marginally on a pullback, getting back to 900. And I'm giving Lucid to 28 in the same vein. If we break 900 here and Lucid holds above 2850, I think that's going to be an add for me on Lucid that might not be at VWAP, depending on where this thing is sitting when Tesla makes that breakout. It's too juicy to ignore this. I think if it gets a turnaround, that gap was so gigantic. And a lot of these names just have so far to go. We talked a little bit about Spotify there. That just, whoops, why didn't that go? There we go. That's back towards a 190 top. I still think this could be bought on the dip, although we're getting now $5 away in from VWAP. So there's another one which might have gotten away from us. I'm going to stick to, I think, the 3 that we have. And then KSCP is the other one I want to be able to get into. But I want to see that either retest that 25 even up at the top, or maybe retake that 2150 and hold below there before rushing into any shorts.
You want to look at a crazy stock that normally we're on, and it's on our sticky note. It's just we're watching Hood go up, nice little win for us on Robinhood as well. Gronk spike that one. We'll say see you later to Tom Brady as well. What a great career.
Is it official? It's not official.
It's not official. It is official. He's just being like that. He wants more media attention. So he'll announce that this week at some point. But look at Softy, guys, to the upside here. You need to see a 1-minute chart for this. Doot, 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 doot. All the way to the upside now goes Microsoft, and it's just still climbing. Go Robinhood right now. So we missed out on Microsoft. But like I said, we're a changed man. We are a new man right now. Not that it's the diamond hand man. I don't think that we are like that. It's just we're being very, very specific. We're waiting for certain things to happen, and when they do, we're striking and we're letting it go. We're positive today, obviously. No, I'm not a hater. Who am I hating today on anything? Well, I think Matt Stafford is a great quarterback, but he gave the game away there, and unfortunately, the San Francisco guy can't catch a ball.
Kind of Tom Brady.
I'm not hating on Tom Brady. I'm saying he's the best, the GOAT. He is the greatest of all time. And I'm just saying he's going to retire.
I hate Tom Brady.
He's going to retire. And I mean, that's it. And it's kind of like good riddance if you are a fan of any other NFL team. That's all. So no, I'm not hating on Tom Brady at all. I actually want Aaron Rodgers to GTFO, get out of here. As as owner of the team, we should have some say at that. But it looks like he may sign. He may sign one more year, and then we could franchise Devontae and try to go for it one more time. Because honestly, the NFC is not very strong. If Aaron Rodgers goes to the AFC, he's
the only quarterback left.
That's a huge mistake. Yeah, that's like I said. Stafford, I don't think is. I mean, that's it, right? Sean Payton retired, actually. That's another thing.
Everything.
So another genius mind is gone now from the NFC. But there it is. Just to let you guys know, we are out. We only have 20% left now on our Robinhood trade. It went up to $13.50. My target was really like, my last offer is at $13.60. And again, right into this level right here for Robinhood. So that was, $13.60 for Hood. That was going to be my target area. Our last spot is there. I'll keep it there if we can get that. But other than that, man, happy that we were able to reverse this short in Robinhood and then take the long. It's not going to be a positive name for us unless we get over that $13.60 area. But still, made like short. We talked about it here on our sticky note. And I apologize for the writing and everything on here. It's not going to change. But ARK saved them on Friday. Will and Kathy do it again. The short until 13, then take long if we break. That's exactly what we just did there. If you didn't like the short idea, then you just wait for 13 to take the long. It's kind of like that Lucid trade. I liked the long, and I know Neil took it, so I that's not why I didn't take it. It's just, I liked the 28.50 area, and I would have hopped in. I actually, once it broke there and didn't really go up, I've been listening to what Neil's been saying, it's almost like the 29 break would be really good, because we're kind of battling right now with this 28.50 area, right? And so it's like you got to get through here, and that needs to make a bottom, not a top. So that's kind of where I'm looking at, but I still like Lucid long, especially if this market goes. We can always check back on Rivian, but right now Apple might have topped out at 173.
I just saw David Kyle in the chat saying just found out ASML not on Robinhood. So it's an Amsterdam stock, right? There is an ADR, but I guess maybe Robinhood doesn't have the ADRs. For the U.S. listed,
no, it's listed in the U.S.
It was listed in the, US.
ASML is a NASDAQ stock.
So I don't understand why it wouldn't be on Robinhood available to trade. That's neither here nor there. On IINN, which I'm still in, there was a monster bid that was showing up here a couple of pennies below, although I cannot see it now, but they were there and it jumped up a little bit, maybe like 5 or 6 cents. If that pushes it back into VWAP, I think there's another fade to be had in this name. I just added to Lucid as it manages to hold the top end of the range, and we should talk about the markets overall a little bit here. This is what we look like on the NASDAQ, right? Like we're essentially breaking and just breaking through, going to Thursday's highs right now. So we get through that, and then it's all systems go maybe to get a couple of more points higher. And that's why we like that reversal in Lucid. Henry's saying it's been a month since we talked about gift horses. It's because I used it so much, and we kind of got away from it because I was using it every single day. We'll go back to the gift horses after we come back from Brennan.
Jumaya Technologies, another one that's just been absolutely killed over the past couple of months to $8 here. Just went off on a volume scanner there trying to get back to day highs, guys. So I just checked February 22 for earnings on this. So not seeing anything significant, but 12% for JMIA.
It just makes me think of Jam for some reason. I don't know. Every time we say Jumaya.
No, Ms. V, no problem, because Superman is in the building, and there it is, man. We have the last 10% left, and we take that out at 60. We actually were waiting at 58 or 59. What was that exact, Phil? 58. So we get a 58 offer there, and just murder this to the long side one more time there for Robinhood. So yes, sir, all of you guys out there that are trading with me, congratulations if you did have that Robinhood break at 13. Not congratulations if you had the short and then didn't take the long. But we did like that long, and we talked about why. Look at all these buys. Buy, 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 buy. She's coming in and just buying the crap out of everything. I had a great weekend. It was my kid's birthday, and we actually went to the, I don't know if you guys saw this. This was me here. I don't know if I can zoom in or not, but it was really fun. Here, let's show that again. This was down a tubing hill. So a lot of fun here tubing there, and this was on Twitter, so you guys can find this out there as we went all the way to the downside, and tons of fun. It's actually really super fast. Shout out to Horseshoe Valley there. I was really surprised at how fast this thing was. And here we are right here. Oh, here we go. This is what we're talking about. So it was my man's birthday right here as we hit all these tubes, and it was really fun because you could hold on to the tubes and kind of swing back and forth with everybody. She's a terror on there. So shout out to everybody that was there.
Did you spray it with the?
Yes. So apparently, you see this one that he had here. This is a Taco Bell. I don't know if you guys can see this, but Horseshoe Valley did something with Taco Bell, and apparently there's only one of them. It was his birthday, and he went and got it, and apparently this is the fastest tube, so he didn't let anybody else slide on it until he let his sister right at the end. So shout out
to the Griswolds.
To the Griswolds. Yeah, that's on the, that's exactly what we talked about when we were there. When they put the Pam, or the kitchen spoil, or the oil, whatever it is, on the bottom of a trash can lid.
Exactly.
So my kids wanted to bring one of those, but
well, that's it's a great movie, by the way. But someone wanted it, so why not? I actually found it's like
it's 50. It's 50. It was $55 a person for 3 hours. So that's someone asking. But that's what happens.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, and by the way, that's Tesla 900 breaking. That's Lucid high of the day going again. So we're going to make sure we do take some profit on the way upside. We said you might not get to the high of the day again until Tesla broke 900. So the Lucid reversal, we took it on the dip. I did want 28s a little bit better, but on the way back in. But this just feels like you got to be going the other direction now. If it pulls even half this gap fill takes you to $30, and there's so much room to the upside on these names, it's just worthwhile. And the only thing I still like to the short side at this point is that BlackBerry, right? Like it's just. And again, picking on, I probably could go back to Lucid and find a little bit of something. But until BlackBerry takes out 805, then I'll stick with the short in that name. Keep reloading Lucid when it gives me those dips. INN looks like it's a bit of a dead one. And KSCP is now back and holding the low end of its range. Come on, below that $20 level. So it looks like it's trying to fade back in as well. Should have jumped back into this when it took 2150. I'll try and short it on any pop in front of 2150 now that it's really settled down. Brennan.
This Dave starting to go again. 1350 was that, or almost 1375, I guess, was that high, that spike high from Friday, late in the day before it came off into the close. A bit of a grind here so far on light volume, but Dave up 15%.
That was a great short on Friday.
Yeah, I don't live in Brampton there, Goldman. We were in Barrie. Yeah, that's where Horseshoe Valley is. So I live in Toronto. So it was only an hour and a bit to go up there, which is fine. for us. You know, in Ontario, if you guys don't know, like, you know, you have to travel hours to get anywhere, it seems like. Even just within Toronto, sometimes you travel an hour. So that was a good one. We missed bad traffic, so it was good. We went up there Saturday morning. Okay, so ARC back to 73. Some of these names are starting to rip and ride here as ARC continuing to go upside. We did get out of Hood. It does go right up to 1370. Like I said, we were on our last little piece here. I'm debating, like, we take out, I mean, just it keeps on, you know, bumping up after going to the downside. So, you know, that's just another name that I'm trying to watch out for here. Wow. Okay, hopefully you guys had NEO. This is my first time looking back at this. We were long 21.50, guys. It's at 23.50 right now. So what a great trade. That's $2 now in the money. This is what I mean. I'm trying to get better at sniping some of these trades, but at the same time, you know, I get out when the profit is there as well. So it's all about this. Team Canada close to World Cup. Yeah, I watched that whole game yesterday. I'm flipping back and forth between that and Kansas City, and the Bengals. But yeah, that Team Canada was absolutely unbelievable. And we're missing we're missing one of the best players in the world, let alone on Canada there with Davies. So that was really awesome. Okay, SoFi, they're number one. They are making the World Cup. It's not, at this point, it's inevitable.
Yeah, it would be complete ridiculous upside. I think at this point, I think it's technically possible that they couldn't, but it's not happening.
I think we'd have to lose literally everything else. We're in first place, so I don't know.
We're legit.
The top three make it there. So
I want to quickly. Brendan mentioned Dave, so I want to come to this because if you were watching on Friday, there was just like it failed, broke 1350, reversed at 14 even. I know because I stopped out the top and then just jumped right back in the failure, and it felt like $1.50. Sorry. Almost $2. We got $1.50, and I'm looking right back at that same top. It just got to 1350 again, and another capitulation. I'm showing you the 15-minute just as a better look because this is what it looks like on the one right here at that 1350. It hasn't made the parabolic move at the top, so I'd give it a little bit of room to do that. I do want to reload Lucid if I can again, just because Tesla, look, the pullback here and Lucid off the top, that's Tesla reclaiming 900 back in, but the market is still in breakout territory, and this trend is still looking pretty strong to the upside. So I'm hanging on to the Lucid long trade, but I'm going to go look at Dave. It doesn't mean that I don't want to trade that KSCP again, but Dave was a much, much better trade on Friday, and now that it's in that range, I want to make sure that I'm jumping over to that one. Coming back over to Spotify, though, the one that we wanted to the long side, it just continues to churn, man. Like there's been no slowdown. So, you know, obviously would have liked to have been able to buy the dip in front of that, you know, 75, 77 area. It's now gonzo, up 11% through 190. I start thinking at some point about, I don't know what happened in my daily chart there, but where the turnaround might be. I was going to show you on the daily, but I can show you just as well on the 15-minute. If you go to last week, the highs were right here at about 194. So you can want the long all you want, but the key level is now come to the top, and that's 194, 195 on spot. It's a couple of dollars away. I think that does give you a reversal potential for a trade where you stop it out at 195 and jump in front of that level for the short.
Yeah, someone's saying the best day in the markets. I think Friday was a great day. Wow, look at Beyond Meat as well. If you just held any of these longs, guys, that we've had, it was been a monster today. So congratulations to anybody that's trading today. You should be making money, especially if you take some of the look at our watch list, check out the sticky note, make some of these calls with us here today. It's been a good one. AMD, unfortunately, just kept on going up and never really gave us this. This was the best opportunity here as we kind of consolidated on the 50 and the VWAP. That would have been a good spot, but again, was just way too choppy and then the breakout. So there's not much there. The only thing that I'm really looking at right now, we're going to hold on to this hood. We've talked about that, is maybe, and this is going to sound a little bit, you know, counterintuitive maybe, but what about a short in Apple off that high? Do we go back to 173.60 right now? Or do we come back to the 50 period and to VWAP? It's kind of like just one of those things. The NASDAQ is still hovering near these highs and looking for some more opportunities. It may be in this name. Let's just check out Microsoft quickly as well, because that was a little weaker than Apple today on the takeoff. But again, we're still really close to the highs on Microsoft and only up that 1.25 as opposed to Apple 1.63. I guess they're pretty similar right now. So yeah, I'm still looking for some trades here, but I am debating like taking this Apple short off of like 173, this one. But again, let's put an offer around 173.30 173.30 or 40 to get Apple in case we do spike, and then we can get out if it does take out the high of the day, 173.60. So I am looking to go short on this name. I feel like it's been a huge move on Friday, up that 6 or 7%. It could go again, and I know people love Apple, but let's see if we can get a good price here. 173.40 or so short for AAPL. It's Mr. Wiccan's neighborhood.
Boeing, another one, guys, very strong so far today. They picked up a new order here from Qatar Airways. 50 new generation freighters being ordered by Qatar. So nice day for Boeing so far.
So I'm going to continue to do this on Lucid. And again, it's one of those where you're going to shoot your shot a couple of times here, and it's got a pretty good trend, like I mentioned, where it'll dip back in, not get to VWAP. First, it was at 28, then it's going to be at 28.25, and here at about 28.35 as it forms a bit of a wedge to break out a second time, hopefully. But we're scalping it inside of the range, so that's the 50. It's going back to that 28.75 as well. So I'm going to keep rinsing and repeating. Every time I get more shares in and try to take a couple of legs out while maintaining the core position, this is now turned out into a breakout. First was a short in front of 28.50. Now it's a breakout trade at that 28.50 level. And look, if it continues to 30, I want to make sure that we have shares on board, but I still want to be taking my profit as the futures starting to go a bit sideways, right? Like, it's not just Tesla going sideways. As Sean mentioned, Apple trying to make a bit of a turn. The NASDAQ and the ES both making a bit of a turn at that high of the day. I talked about Dave looking like the better setup. The volume really drying up here on Dave, unfortunately. I would have liked it to make one more press at that 14 even, try to go parabolic, and then you get that short trade. Want to be more active in this, but it's going to have to make some kind of a spike to get me into it. And BlackBerry, this is the last, that's not a small cap, I should say. So that's not a low floater, I should say, the last short. 805 is my stop. I took my last entry in front of $9, so I got a $7.90 price. It's risking 15 cents plus slippage. I'm actually not on the bid till 7.50. I'll rectify that. I should be bidding in front of VWAP because that would be 1-to-1 risk to reward.
Just looked at Robinhood here, so we're finally in Lucid as well. I'm going to take this all the way back to here, about this 28.30 or so on LCID. So we'll take this now. Fine. Like I said, I would rather have it held up here a little bit longer. So right now we'll take it. I'm not in love with this trade, but we'll take it. And then Robinhood, again, just to review this, it did just dip again into 13.45. Not a level that we were too concerned about, but that's something there, 13.45. I'm just concerned about this level. So if Robinhood does, there's an Apple short, so that just came on. The market's just screaming here, so that Apple may get taken out. But Robinhood, just to give you guys an idea, I'm going to be reloading this thing down here. Down near 1320-ish, 20 probably. I put the order in. Let me tell you where the order is right now. It's 1326 right now. So I guess I can cancel my 12 bids on Robinhood, as that's not happening. Down in here. So around here somewhere, we'll take the trade, and then if it breaks back down below the 50 period, we'll get out. But right now, Robinhood, definitely trend is your friend, but it does look like we are making some upside music here on that name. And look what we just did here on Apple. Let's just take a bid if we can. Bang! That's how you do it, guys. Like, sometimes we struggle for 50 cents, and sometimes we don't. So right there, Apple just comes all the way to the downside. Look at that short. We put that on right there. We take that out right there. Now we can stone cold chill, and you're back. We're back right now. We'll go, yeah. For that one on Apple, as I just turn over, man, talking about Hood, getting the key levels there on Apple. Take that for a quick little 50-cent scalp. Now we'll hold one-third of it, sorry. We got out of 2/3 of Apple. And again, we don't want to dance with this one too much. So if we can get a profit, especially on the short side there for AAPL, your boy's going to take that one. And then, of course, we step into Lucid and it just comes to the downside. We'll find out some outs here, probably just 28 flat.
Yeah, the market starts to bounce back to the downside. So Lucid, that 28, that's been the stop for me, that VWAP the whole time. But we already reloaded once. I'm not going to reload again until it breaks, either makes a fresh high and comes back in for a higher low. SoFi I don't want to ignore it here. I know you guys are talking about it, up almost 10%. This is right to Thursday's lower high at 12.25 or so, and with the market trying to make a bit of a turn, if you don't have the break, I'm going to look for the fade off a level like that. It's the same thing if Spotify got to 195. It's a 10-cent risk trade right into those quarters, and it's been a screamer. Don't get me wrong. Like SoFi has been an absolute screamer. When you get a consolidation opportunity like this to retrace the same price area, then I'm going to jump and look for those turns when we can get them. Dave, you know, it looks like it is going to be dying, but it's already down like 80 cents from the high, and I didn't get into it off of that curl. So I'm not going to sit there chasing something like Dave when I see a better risk to reward trade here in Lucid. I know exactly where the stop needs to be placed. You go above that 1220. It's actually 1226. Oddly enough, that's a fun date. But 1226, that's where I'm going to put the stop on SoFi here. Short at 10s, I'll add to it. You get an average price of $12.15 because that's the intended risk to reward. You know, we want to lose about 10 cents, start covering it in front of 12 even.
All right, we'll see if we can just keep on stacking cash. We'll take another trade out there on Lucid. And again, like this is how we're doing it, man. We're trying to be very, very specific. We waited, you know, like a thief in the night, grabbed some shares right by that, VWAP area for them down near 30. We take it and we get it out now as it starts to rip up, hopefully to the north side here for Lucid. We're long at, where are we long at? 35. So there it is. Let's go, Lucid. Our next out is going to be 55. Can we take 20 cents on this name? Like we just started this, man. And there it is, a nice little win for us on LCID. Yes, sir. Spin the money, money, money. We just a little bit away from a nice little 20-cent win real quick there on LCID. Let's go. Just hit us at 55. And there it goes up to 57. Yes, sir. It's a chicken dinner winner. Up to 62, 63. Let's go, Lucid, man. We're really happy with this trade going on. Hood, 50 cents in the money. Palantir, 30 cents in the money. Lucid, 35 cents in the money. Apple, 30 cents in the money. What a good time to trade, guys. And I hope you are. And right now, we're going to go to small cap recap. We've been talking about this a little bit here today. It's KSCP with Brendan.
Sir.
A teeny tiny low float stock, KSCP, guys. Day two after the debut. I think it was actually day three because it was Thursday, if I remember. 2.5 million shares, regardless. Very, very tiny float, so I was only going to be long this thing. $20 if you go back to Friday, pretty clear level. Ends up being a pretty clear level here in the pre-market, $20 again. So I took a few shots at this to the long, gave you a number of trades to the long side, but volume dying out a little bit here. It probably fades off, but 90 cents for locates on that thing for us today. So pass on the short for me. FGI, on the other hand, tried it once going into the open, flipped that to the long. That gave you a really nice long up to pre-market highs. Got out of the long here. We're back below this 550, 560 area. So we'll see if we can get down into pre-market lows, at least on the short side now for FGI. IINN. Wow, that was really annoying because it stopped me out almost to the number and then immediately just absolutely died. So it's going to happen, unfortunately. Going to give this back to 3 and then see what happens up to 320 for IINN. Another one, though, volume kind of dying down already. Back over to you guys.
I always say if you make a top wick, like there's something about that just means that the price area that you decided for your stop and the price area that you traded around was a good one, and there's some significance to it, but it's just going to happen. That's par for the course. I guess got some shares out. We'll do, I don't know, we'll hit the power up. Lucid makes another bounce. Ever since it broke that 28.50, we flipped to the long and have been buying dips. So working into this one, working in and out of this one, but maintaining that core position. I think there's room to 30, which is halfway back on that gap fill from the 33 level. And that's, if you're joining us a little bit later, it was Lucid breaking 33, this monster support area, and then just taking the entire gap with it to 28.50 that we were watching last week. Once that happened, it manages to hold 28.50 as resistance. It then turns into a breakout above that price level. You see me flip from shorts into longs on the 15-minute. And like I said, only halfway to this range here. 31 at the top would send you to about, just shy of that $30 level. I want to make sure I got shares on board for that. So Lucid continues to run here, but I think we got half the story. It can still break 29. Tesla is solidly above 900. The market is breaking out in the highs. This is the ES breaking out at the top, and the NASDAQ as well, breaking some of these highs and continuing to run. So I think that bodes well for some of these recovery names and see if they can't continue this juice going to the upside. I am still in that IINN. There was a big buyer. Now I see a 100,000 sell offer sitting at about 285. So this one has a chance to capitulate once again. Looks like that buyer was a bit fugazi that I saw before, and now just a massive offer. Sorry, at 283 I said, not 285.
What's up, guys? We're just chilling out right now and enjoying life. I mean, look at that Lucid. Bang, straight to the upside. O'Neill just covered that. I don't know. It's 10.25. We're going to let this thing run a little bit as we take out some of the highs. And just to look back, Apple does test some of those highs as well. Whoopsies. The mic falls. Just the mic.
Oh.
No problem. We're paying for that today anyways. Okay, the mic to the upside. The mic to the upside.
The mic to the downside.
The mic to the downside. Right there. Okay, so good little trade there for Apple. Palantir kind of just battling around. We should have got out at the high there as, it did make a move. This is not a horrible level to get out of Palantir. I mean, we're right now today, guys, Apple, boom, right? Nice little trade for us. Beyond Meat, $1 in the money. Well, we took the dollar, would now be $3 in the money if you had held that. Robinhood, bad, reverse, good. So that Robinhood is good for us. Lucid to me. One trade, that's it, boom, we wait. Like I said, man, very, very patient for Lucid, waiting for that trade. All day we take it. And then Neo, I mean, this one we dropped this off way too early, man. Like, we're celebrating there, that's a 21.50. We're getting out at 22. That's 50 cents early, real early. And unfortunately, should have held that on for that long ride there as well. And then the last one, Palantir, we have this break, which was fantastic. Just wish we would have had something out up here. So let's put a 13.55 or so offer, get out of this if it does come to the backside now. The only trade I'm not nervous about any of these trades, obviously, as they've all cashed in and we can't be negative at all. So that'll be good. But is Apple, as it's kind of hovering around the highs, I never liked to short it, but it came into a good area. I just went and got reloaded, so we did not reload Apple, but that would have been a good trade up here near the high of the day as we were waiting for that to break. Doesn't, so we hold on to Apple as it comes back in. So again, we'll probably just get out of Lucid, man. We're 45 cents in the money on this one. So yeah, let's catapult ourselves. Lucid, another name that we liked on the sticky note as well for that 28.50. So hey, man, we could take 30 cents on this one. I think we probably should.
And even SoFi, I mean, this is starting to work. And again, this is not about saying that we have to take every single, idea that's out there. But, when it got that double top there, like whether it's Apple and it's the long side or whether it's SoFi, it already made its move up. And if you don't have the long, it goes into an obvious resistance area, then the trade available to you is going to be the short, right? So when I showed you on the 15-minute that you did have a bit of a top there, we took the curl. I'm going to play this into VWAP. So, 1-to-1 was at 12, and then we'll try to get it down another leg out here between 85 and 90, and then last leg out at VWAP, because it is still an overall strong name, right? Let's be honest. That's a big-time breakout here. I think it could find some support down there at VWAP, and we want to make sure that we take advantage of it. That Dave stock, I mean, it's going to try one more time, it looks like, here again. So I was sitting on the offer looking for it to maybe retest that 13.50. But I want to play it by ear. I'm not going to sit with an offer just out there in the ether to get picked up. If it makes a spike, I'll try to catch the curl off the top because I think that does set up pretty well. And Lucid, which is giving you these chances to get back in on the dips, it just turned it 29 even. Now, that's the first significant, I guess, parabolic move since it broke 28.50. That's the biggest move up, rejecting at 29. I might expect it to test a little bit closer to VWAP once again before trying to reload on Lucid. But that's worked the entire way through. And as long as we're above 28, I think the breakout is still very much in play for Lucid. So it's SoFi short, IINN still working out pretty well, Lucid to the long side. And I am looking at Spotify. Whoops, Spotify's in the New York, Neil. I am looking at Spotify, but I wanted to short specifically on this one in front of 195. It double topped at 193 and is pulling back in. So SoFi gave you the curl and went to that resistance area, but you would have had to jump well in front of that resistance to get the short on Spotify, which I was not willing to do on a stock that strong.
People's Trader is back one more time with another banger for you. Apple to the downside. There's $1 for you right there if you want it. Giving you multiple dollar winners here today. I just hope you're having them all on. We got out at 2/3 for this one real early. Literally the same minute we got the short. So diamond hands, not really for this one, but we locked at the market coming to the downside. We thought Apple was a little bit too extended. So there it comes now in. And not that it's too extended. I mean, Apple can go up infinitely forever. It's just, the NASDAQ had a nice run. You're up that 1.66%, and here comes Apple. The problem is it touched down right there, 172.50 at that 50 period. Probably should have taken some out. I mean, it's right here, right now. We can get this again. It's just that if we are going to fall, then maybe we test VWAP and we can get an even bigger win. So I think this is one that we can wind up holding here for as long as possible on that. We did get out of Palantir as it tests, and again, I mean, what else are we supposed to do? I mean, we're just ringing the Reggie all day today again. But a good trade there for the long side. Now to the down here. We'll see what happens on Palantir. A good out. Let's just check back. There goes Apple now. 90 cents now in the money, taking out its 50-period moving average. Let's just check out on Lucid. The last, yeah, so yes, sir. Another one, man. Yes, sir. Another one where we get out of this name, Lucid. Get unplugged from this. Now we'll wait to see if we can reload back down near 28.40. So again, you know, like a glove, man, they say, you know, if the glove fits, you know, and there it is, whatever. This is what we're doing today. We're reading everything like really good. I mean, we should be up more money than we are up, but it's going to be pretty much a perfect day for us today, as every single trade we've given you has won, except Robinhood. We were too short here and didn't make enough on this move up to get us back to flat. So Robinhood will pay fees on it, but we will be red on that name unless, again, we're holding a small piece. I don't know if we take out the highs of 1375 or not, but Lucid's been pretty good for us today, as now there it goes right back up to the upside again. So that's going to be a good one there. We'll see about reloading it if it gets low again. Our best out on Lucid, though, 80s. So far, so good there. With only 30 minutes left, maybe there's some sort of news story heating up. What's up, Brendan?
Not a lot, guys. Just checking on cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin moving back towards 38,000 right now. Coinbase, as a result, having a pretty good day. Back to 185 here for coin, back into some congestion from last week. So a nice look for coin, up 4% now for Coinbase. It's 10:30. There's an hour left in the session over in Europe. Miss V on vacation, as we mentioned, for a couple of weeks, but not much to mention over in Europe today. It is a positive day, as the U.S. market's kind of leading here, guys.
Thank you very much, Brendan. We got more shares out of SoFi. It hit second level on the way down into VWAP, so we'll ring Reggie there. And you were mentioning Lucid. I did get a reload on Lucid and have already taken some shares out back on the way up. It's going to be the same game plan. We're going to these are actually almost in a straight line, but I haven't actually drawn a trend line, kind of just doing one in the head there. But we get another bid in front of 55s, in front of 50s. I'm going to scalp some out, maintain the core position. If it takes out 29, I'm going to have longs, but I've been buying every single dip on Lucid since it made that bit of a break. So you pick a couple of names here. The short that definitely looks like it's going to stick is that IINN. But as Lucid rounds off the top, you can't ignore the fact that's 29 at the top here. And the other thing which we have to be watching in addition to the market is Tesla. Now, Tesla well above that 900 level. If Tesla's going to make a screen back down through 900 and test VWAP, there's a decent chance Lucid, which has been relatively weak in the past, might make a strong test of VWAP at the same time. So I've been watching Tesla all morning long, even if it is Lucid that we're going back and forth and going long every single time it dips and then taking that break and holding on to it. But Tesla, you do want to make sure you're watching that one. I didn't get into a firm, which is like the first time in forever that I haven't tried a short on a firm. That's just because it's that overall. That double bottom, the Monday low capitulation, and a lot of these names are catching bids here. So you want to be a little bit particular about what levels you want to short at. And the next one for me where I would take a firm is up here at 69 or 70. So a firm's got a ways to go before it would be an automatic, I'll close my eyes and just short you wherever you are. And that's going to be up at 69 or 70. SoFi here does not necessarily have to get to VWAP for me to want to take the last leg out. If it retests the high, I'll take one reload in front of 1225 and then get aggressively out in the range that it's been able to put in here, right? So, SoFi, just because it's gone $1, that's a monster move, like 10%, right? Like that's a huge move for SoFi. I don't think it's retracing that far in the short. I think you're looking for a little bit more of a contracted range, more along that quarter of the move to the upside. And if that's all it wants to give you, then that's what you should be able to take. That's still 2 or 3%, which is fantastic for this name. And you want to make sure you're sticking to the good ones, guys. Going back over to spot, because that is a huge mover here today. Retesting 193. I still like a 195 if it breaks the high. That is the only level I want to play to the short side on Spotify. It's got to get up to 195. I know it's double topped at that 193, but that's not a significant level for me when I look at the higher time frame. And that's where I start looking support and resistance, always at that higher time frame.
All right. Yeah, always look at it. Trend is your friend. Yeah, for sure. Look at Apple. So we are out of that one again for another one for us here today, and that's that, man. Let's get out. Let's take the dollar and let's get out, or the 90 cents, whatever that was. 140 out at 160. Sorry, 173.40 out at 173.60 right there. So we will take that as it just bounces around, and let's get the heck out of here. So there it is on Apple, man. We tweeted that out as well, and there's the call, and this is what we're talking about. Shorted Apple here. It was a good time, just not a long time. Out right there at that 50 period. Out right there for that. So far, so good. And look at Robinhood, man. 78s now and still climbing up. So good job there as it starts to go. And it looks like your Lucid's going. So that's good.
Yeah, that was just a huge volume spike through 29. This is what it looks like when shorts get punked. Like, I flipped at 28.50 because that was the key level, but if I was shorting it, that would have been a failure at 29. On this consolidation, people will be shorting in front of 29. That's what it looks like when some of those got stopped out. There might still be people fighting this one, but I think you had to give it up at 28.50 to the short side. I still want to be buying dips if I can. I might have to tighten up to above 28.50. You've been able to get some bids in front of it. Behind it. Now you might have to get in front of that 28.50, as I think we are looking like we're headed to that 29.5, maybe even $30 area. That IINN starting to try to make a secondary move. I know, okay, like the short was off at 30.50, but it's trying to bounce off this 280 level to $3 in VWAP. I still think after the capitulation it's already put in, this is more of a short for me as we get to this 3, but VWAP sits there at 305, 306. So I would let it break the even and then give it a couple of pennies before getting back into more.
Yeah, I'm just checking out my, nicely. Just checking out some of the trades I have in my long-term account right now, looking to see what's going on. Nice to see CRM battle back, as we just got involved with Salesforce the other day. So that was a good one. I like this name for the long haul. I've been getting into this as we go, as we're just taking out. This is the 1-minute chart, so we hit 228.50. You could see CRM here off some nice consolidation levels down at 210, 220 or so. I think we're just back in. We started to buy here, and we got some more down here. So right now, CRM starting to get back into the money for us here. So that's going to be a good one back down. I mean, you got to buy some of these plays, obviously, as we go. It looks like Robinhood just did try to go and didn't. So I think we could probably get out now. It just tried 1380 and failed. So yeah, I don't know. I was sitting here trying to buy these again, but look where this level's come all the way up to, man. This has been a good day. It's come right into here. We could try one more long here on Robinhood, and then we do have an out. So I think this is probably worth it. Oh, man, Apple's still going to the downside. That was a good call for us, but we did get out of that. Okay, so let's take some more Robinhood. What is this, 48s? We'll probably get that. Let's just take a 50. If we're lucky enough to get a 50, that'd be great here for Hood, and then we'll drop it off if it breaks this 38 or so. So there it is. We're now into Robinhood at that 50. The momentum's definitely to the downside, so I'm actually debating even cracking a short if we take this out, but we'll hold it again into that level. We'll see what happens here. Right into here again. So we've already sort of been down here. We resisted a drop to 30 there, so maybe we can withhold that, but we'll get some out if we take through the VWAP here, and then we'll see if we break that level, 1330. That might be a good indication to go short. So we'll see what happens here with Robinhood, but right now holding on for dear life as it's getting very, very close to trend changing and starting to go to the downside.
Yeah, I mean, trends, it's all about the trend turn. And I think I just got another reload myself. That's the IINN. So we came back to it when it finally made a strong move into VWAP. It failed at $3. I would have let it fail at 305, but it couldn't even break 3. So I was able to add to it down here at 96. I'm going to get some out in front of that consolidation point, which was in the 80s. And if it breaks that, I think we're headed back to 75s and then 50s. Those are the target areas. But Lucid just continues to make its monster churn here. I did think that maybe we'd get another crack at that 28.50 level on that pullback at 29, but that got to 28.85 and is still screaming. So we still have some shares onto the long side. We do want to make sure we're holding for the bigger gap move after scalping it. This has been the plan after it reversed, but maybe it's gone. Maybe we can't get 28.50s again. That's great for the long trade. The futures, on the other hand, as that continues to go, and Tesla's at the high of the day as well, but the futures here, and maybe why you're seeing some kind of a turn. I mean, the NASDAQ has rejected 14.7 a couple of times here and is consolidating, so might be setting up for a break back into the 14.8 range. And the ES, kind of a similar thing. Like it's broken those highs from midweek, but it's kind of pulling back after that break as we settle down it's still a pretty solid looking board. It isn't perfect, but there is a lot of blue on that for sector watch. Let's go to Brennan.
Yeah, decent day overall, guys. Let's have a look at the S&P 500. Here we are 0.55 to the upside there. If you're new or just joining maybe for the first week or so, this board's made up of sectors that are in boxes related to the size of the strength of the move. So the bigger the box, essentially, the more important or the bigger the move with the overall market. So you can see this is the tech group here. You can see the size versus the healthcare group and everything else on that side really not having that much influence today. So overall, it's all about tech shares. It's all about consumer discretionary stocks as well. There's Tesla, worth noting, 7% today for Tesla, straight to the upside so far. Etsy's here, Amazon, POOL as well, all about 2.5 to 4%. Semiconductors, though, every single one of them here in positive territory, having a great day. ENPH, 8% to the upside. Hardware equipment makers, all but one in positive territory, 2.5+% right across the board. There's that CTXS we were talking about on a deal. Visa to the downside as well. IBM also in negative territory, but outside of that, software equipment makers also very, very strong. Software makers, not equipment makers. Consumer staple stocks, wanted to mention quickly, they're negative. Same story with energy stocks in the corner there. They are also negative, offsetting a little along with individual names here in the industrials group in negative territory. So some give and take overall, but 0.5% to the upside, all because tech stocks, guys, really strong today.
Tech stocks are running. I tried to get the curl on SoFi. I missed it by 5 cents. Now it's right back into VWAP. So the same top that we had before, it's now put in exactly the same range from 12.12 right down into 11.90. I didn't rinse and repeat. It just held on to the last third, which I think it looks like we're going to try to get here on VWAP. It does mean as we pull back in that some of the longs, which we were looking for reload opportunities on, might start to draw back. Now Lucid got up to 29.20. It pulled back below 29 even, so if it gets to that 28.50 level, that's where I'd like to be able to reload once again at that key price and basically nothing else. I can tell you IINN just broke VWAP. It's trying to hold a bit above that 306, but there was a fake size earlier, IINN, in the 80s. That's now sitting at 380, 305. And I want to see if that's actually real. So I want to give it to 310 here. And if that size goes on the bid, I'm going to add to the short, but a 310 about to break. I'll get back into this trade. If I see the 305 bid, which looks exactly the same as the 81 that's there, whoops, it just stopped me out at 310, but didn't really go. I want to jump right back into it because this is the bid right here at 305. I want to jump right back in because this bid is, I think they're kind of fugazi. The last time they managed to cancel this bid, I don't know why it's not flipping on my level 2, and I have to do it manually for you guys. But there it is at 305. I saw the same guy at 285, and they pulled. They're back here at 305. But if this breaks, I think it's headed right back down to 275.
All right, so some news about Boeing here. They might need some more financing. I don't think it's not really doing too much to the stock. It does create a little bit of a downward move, and then we saw it break the 50 period. So we're going to have, well, we took the trade. We won't have, I mean, we will average into this one if we have to, but my out's going to be the high of the day. I mean, I just can't see this as being great news, but you are seeing now the NASDAQ starting to bump around a little bit here. I got to take off this Robinhood trade as it's starting to go back up. We are getting close. We did average into this one. Obviously, the market, so we go long, then we get out and we take the short, and now our average price. So, I mean, Robinhood's going to be the only negative stock we have here today, and we're just kind of like dancing around with this thing on Robinhood. So let's see if it gets out back into the 60s, some danger spots there, especially if the market rips. I feel like they want to buy up Robinhood. And again, guys, congratulations to anybody that has that Lucid. We added this to the sticky note. Give it breakthrough 28.50. So I hope you guys had that. We had that Lucid trade. We weren't in it for a very long time, but a nice positive win for us there on Lucid. So there it is, man. The sticky note remains supreme one more time right there on that Lucid break. So how we traded that was just in and out. So in. We averaged that 28.50 right there, comes back in, and we get it, then out, all the way to the upside. So Lucid, a nice positive stock, obviously, for us there today. And it looks like Robinhood, I mean, I was going to give this back up to 60, just a level. Like, I just didn't think we'd be back up here. We can maybe give this to the, I mean, you know what? I'm just going to give this to the high of the day. That's fine. If it continues to go upside, we'll take one more average in on this. It's going to be a loss, but it's not huge. We don't want to put on too many trades, but that was a good one. Rate breaking through that VWAP is just, we saw Lucid on Friday, Hood on Friday, just continue to make moves all the way to the upside here, before eventually stopping around noon. So I won't be able to hold out for that long, because by the time that happens, we probably already hit out through 1380. So I'm going to do a little bit more work on some levels here, as Boeing right now 50 cents in the money, as this hopefully is going to be a good trade for us on that one. So we'll see if we're at a carnival. We're waiting for 194 flat. See if we can't take $1 on Boeing to the downside, hopefully even a little bit more than that, as it's screaming low here. What's up, Brando?
More on that Boeing headline, guys. They're saying we expect negative operating cash flows in the future quarters until deliveries begin to return to historic levels. So that was just in addition to that one you mentioned there, Sean.
Not necessarily a good look for them overall, but the market also turning as well, right? So, I mean, you have a turnaround. You're consolidating off the highs. You get even a small pullback. Weaker names are going to get beaten up here. But they still, the strong names still have to break support, which has not happened yet. That's why I'm looking at SoFi. That is strong support now at 1188. You're seeing bounce once, twice, but it's lower highs forming a bit of a wedge. When that breaks, I'm still out. I know it looks like pretty bearish if it were to break that level, but I'm still out in front of VWAP because I'm going counter trend there. And like I said, the trend is pretty strong to that upside, and I'm not going to ignore it. Going back over to Dave, this was the other one that we wanted to get into the short side. It is now broken VWAP itself. I think 13 is the new level. 13, 50, 14 were those tops that I would have shorted, but you've already pulled back in here. So if I get into this, it's going to be in front of 13. I'm not giving up on Lucid as long as it remains above that $28.50 and $28. No longer a VWAP. Obviously, as it grinds higher, VWAP is a moving target into the upside. So $28.50 is the only level I want to reload. SoFi short is working, but for now, if the market reclaims the highs and breaks out from this consolidation, I am not reloading SoFi. At this point, the chance to reload it has come and gone. I should have canceled my order. I just thought I did. But the chance to reload has come and gone. There's no need to go back to that well like a third or fourth time, even if you have. And another name from this morning, and we're waiting for Spotify, and I had some good levels at 195 if it broke higher. When it comes to Beyond Meat, the similar thing would be up here at about $65 on Beyond Meat. I kind of like Spotify a little bit better at 195, but Beyond Meat, very similar setup. If it breaks out and then tries to get through and fails at 65 even, I think that's set up really well for potential short. You've got to have a level that you can work with when you're going against the grain. Both those names up 10%.
Beyond Meat. So watch out for all of your trades here, as Boeing right now, mamma mia, another one we got for you here, as Boeing continues to make a move to the downside here. So a good trade for me on BA, man. Down goes Boeing. Let's see how far it wants to go now. We are nicely now $1.20 in the money. So it's a little bit of fruit salad action here on Boeing as we just take out VWAP, and now we're getting excited, guys, as down goes Boeing. Down goes Boeing. We shouldn't say that too often, actually.
No.
There goes Boeing to the downside here, as we got $1.50 now in the money. And sorry about that. We're just excited as Boeing now $1.50 here. The only thing that we're nervous about is Hood, as that continues to make a move to the downside, to the upside here. We could get stopped out of Robinhood, but we just take one more short into this level here, 1375. But oops, we did it again on BA now, $1.30 in the money. Let's take some out as we dance around VWAP and go over to Just in Time with Brendan and Justin.
I told him to extend it a little bit, but I don't know, that kind of hung on there a bit. Well, anyways, yeah. Justin Kozach is here on a Monday, Day Trade the World marketing guy, to talk about some interesting topics that popped up, not necessarily over the weekend, but this one has been lingering in the background for, I guess, quite some time now. We're going to, I first wanted to show you Spotify's chart today. We're going to talk about Spotify. Here's the chart of Spotify, multiple upgrades on this stock today. It's up 10% on the day. So lead the way here, right. Justin. Tell us what you're thinking.
What I'm thinking. All right. I think, I'm going to start with the question, and really let's frame the conversation based on that. Are companies responsible for the accuracy of the content that is being published on their platforms by third parties?
Yep.
Let's start with that. So I don't listen to Joe Rogan anymore. I haven't in years. I actually listened to his podcast when he first got started, and it was amazing production value, which is something that I look for in any kind of content. Unfortunately, Joe Rogan seems to have lost his way and has had some very interesting guests on his show of late. One of them who compared COVID mandates or COVID-19 mandates to the Holocaust, which is always a very interesting sort of comparison. And as a Jewish guy, I take some offense to that. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about Joe Rogan and his constant pandering to those who subscribe to the belief that curing COVID is as simple as injecting bleach. And it's no surprise now that people are starting to say maybe Spotify has a responsibility here to pull the content from their platform and label some of that content as they've done. They've now said that they're labeling content that contains COVID-19 information, whether it's accurate or not. They have also said that they have removed about 20,000 episodes that contain misinformation. A grand total of those from Joe Rogan's podcast are 0. So there's a very interesting thing that's happening here. Now Neil Young has pulled his content. Joni Mitchell, who I hadn't heard from in years, is also supposedly pulling her content in protest. And Brené Brown, who started as a really well-known TED Talk individual or delivered a really good TED Talk, she is also holding off on pushing any new content until further notice. All of this results in Spotify losing about $4 billion, billion with a B, in market value last week because of everything that's happening. So this is just one of those topics that is it's a fascinating topic, and I don't know if there's from Spotify's perspective, I don't know if there's a right or wrong. They spent a lot of money getting Joe Rogan. $100 million deal for how many years was it? I can't remember what it was.
I don't even know if that was disclosed. I think it was an undisclosed amount of time. And the simple point, if you look at this purely from a business perspective, regardless of, I don't want to talk about vaccination stance because it's irrelevant at this point. Like if you look at it from a purely business perspective, this is not even a difficult decision for them to let Neil Young take his music and go wherever he wants to go because of, and as you said before we came on here, the enormity of the platform that Joe Rogan has built as a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, certainly if Joe Rogan were to pull his content from Spotify, the real question is how much more could they lose, right? I have zero horse in this race. I am not, like Brandon said, I am not going to get in a vaccination status. I'm not going to get in a vaccination stance because that is you could talk about that for months and you would never agree with anyone who disagrees with vaccination mandates. So I'm not even going to have that conversation. But the reality is that Spotify would lose a lot more money losing Joe Rogan than they would somebody like Neil Young. I love Neil Young. I love Joni Mitchell. I have no feelings one way or another about Joe Rogan. Again, I don't listen to his stuff. I have I have a stance on vaccination status and the importance of these things. That's not why I'm on the show, and I'm not going to talk about that today.
It's the interesting part of this is, as you said, what is the more important side of the argument here, and it remains to be seen. I
don't know if there is an important side.
At this point, it's pretty clear which direction they've decided.
For sure, they've chosen their stance, and that's on them. That's their decision. At the end of the day, they have to square that with their investors. They have to square that with their people. Obviously, they're going to lose employees over this, and that's just that's how it is. It's unfortunate to see that is, but people who are willing to. People who are willing to put their morals and values ahead of employment, I applaud that. Listen, I support that, but I am not. This is just one of those weird things not weird. This is one of those very complex topics that has no real end in sight.
And the more important question, I think, and as you mentioned, and we've talked about this with Facebook, we've talked about this with other platforms, how much responsibility do these companies have to have, and how much effort do they have to have when it comes to the information they're putting out?
Sure.
That's all we'll say on it.
Yep.
I mean, as I said, Spotify's up 10% today on a couple of upgrades, so it is what it is. Let's talk about this. How do you pronounce this guy's name again? I forget. Vishal Garg?
Vishal Garg, I believe is how you pronounce it. So he's back with a vengeance, it seems. We talked about this actually last year. Better.com CEO laid off, 900 employees in what was said to be a very controversial call. He was deemed as very insensitive, and some people accused him of being a little bit too extra, for lack of a better term. He famously berated investors over email, called some of his employees dumb, lazy dolphins, and so on and so forth. He is back, and quite paranoid, it seems. He had invited in-person employees only to an AMA, but in order to get in, you had to surrender your phone, which was placed in a paper bag, and you had to go through a metal detector. So imagine going to a company meeting and being essentially, searched for recording devices. Sharing of Google Docs internally has been disabled. Nobody has access to dashboards. This person is apparently so paranoid of any negative press coming out about his company, or about the company that he runs, that he has essentially locked down the entire business. So it's clearly the age of CEOs who are, I didn't want to go this way, but clearly unfit to lead. So I don't know what's going on with this guy. I don't know what's going on with the company, but everybody seems to be leaving because they're kind of tired of his nonsense. So, Better.com still not having better days.
No, and more to come on that story. Justin Kozach, Day Trade, the World Marketing Guy. Check him out on Twitter, guys, at tradertv. Justin, thank you as always. Guys.
And the market, by the way, at the absolute high, about to break this $2. I was going to show you Lucid breaking back above 29, but let's talk about the ES here because we're right back above that 44.4 mark. So I was talking about us struggling to get past that weekly top on the ES. Bye-bye, gonzo. And then the NASDAQ as well, past that high that you had there on Thursday. Sorry, check that Wednesday, and then breaking back out through the top. So it looks like it's super strong. Like I said, we only have a couple of minutes. So I'm not going to reload SoFi. We're hanging on to the Lucid trade. I feel like we could be hopefully into this one up to $30. There was no dip to be had just now at that 28, closer to 28.50. We're right here at 28.75, and I think 29.50 to 30 is the ultimate target as we fill in some of that gap from last week. But obviously, this is a good start to the week. Just keep in mind, we still have, I know it's a good Monday so far, we can't be complaining about it, but we still have some earnings coming through, big earnings coming through this week that we have to dodge some bullets with.
Yeah, it should be a great week, and I'm not dodging many bullets with Robinhood. I'm actually standing directly in the fire here of Robinhood. As we said about going long through 13, yeah, I guess that was the right call there, because right now Robinhood just keeps on going to the upside. We just got stopped on our last short right here, and then we just took a new one. So we're going to use this up until, you could probably tell, up until 14 for Robinhood. It seems like we are going to 15 today. Wow, what a great run Robinhood's had off of what I thought was, and obviously wrong, a bad report. So we'll wait to see. Robinhood continues to go upside. Obviously, this is, I don't want to say obviously because I'm not sure, but I feel like this is just a run on another meme name here. Robinhood, obviously it's option eligible and things like that. So we'll watch out for some more squeezes that come through on Robinhood, and then hopefully the squeeze is done and retail money is finished. But again, I just respect the move on Robinhood, and we won't stand in the way of this again. It's the only negative stock we have on board for you all day today. We have this crazy Apple short. That was great. Boeing, we took the dollar. We took $1. So Boeing, we went short there. We took out 2/3. This is while Justin was on. We just took out 2/3 for $1.50. Now we're going to hold the rest to see if it takes out that high. So that's been a good one. Lucid's been a monster. Was a good one for me today, but a monster move there for Lucid. NEO was absolutely crazy, but unfortunately we only took 50 cents on it. Palantir, I guess a bad out as it's bouncing back up right there as well, and that's it. So everything working for me today except for Robinhood, where we went short early, then we went long, and then just here, we were basically flat on the name, and then just in here, we've added now to the negative P&L for Robinhood here, as we're looking to take out 14. If it does, we'll be done that one until we see like a significant move down, and then we'll try to play momentum, which we should have been doing in the first place.
And guess what? It's already 11 o'clock. Time flies, but it's been a fun Monday to be sure. You're going to have even more fun. You got a treat here. Obviously, Miss V, I'm sure she's enjoying herself on her trip. But we've got Arun filling in for Miss V with Trader Prad. It is your Market Movers, and we're headed there right now. Enjoy.
Welcome everybody to a new week, a new show. Well, not a new show, but a new host. We got Arun right next to me. Miss V still on her. Well, vacation starts for her now. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Let's dive into the market. Arun, you looking at anything fun for yourself today?
Not at all. You know, I started this day off. It was obviously I got to get a brand new setup here with the computers. I don't know how Miss V does it because I've only got 2 monitors to work with. And this is not what I'm used to at all. So I'm still kind of getting the lay of things here. I'm trying to set things up the right way. So I haven't taken any stocks. Futures-wise, I mean, we can go to my screen. Right, can you actually do this for me? My screen here, I just want to show my screen.
Yeah, you're on your screen.
Is my screen even showing?
Yeah, I'll switch
yeah,
it up
okay,
for you.
yeah. My screen here. So you can see here, I did take a shot on the short side in front of 44.20. That didn't last long. It was just a quick shot against the momentum. I made like a tick on that trade. I'm like, nope, that doesn't look good. Walked away from that, and then you saw what happened here, right? As I mentioned off the top, 44.60 is the level. We're hesitating a little bit here. I think once 44.60 goes, you go